Why, hello there. Look at how on time I am today. Like, who even is this? Happy Tuesday. How you guys doing today? I am joined today by my co-host, Chen Stormstout, in his rather bare tank. He currently has just one moss ball, a couple of crypts left, and an Indian almond leaf is that big brown thing on the ground. Because I am doing daily water changes for him to try and help his fins, and it makes it a lot easier to clean the bottom. There is a cat here who would like to come say hello, so we'll see if we can get a little cat going. And then I should start right away, because I would dearly love to get 2 attempts at the Corcoran Juggernaut in today, and I can really only do that if I go now. So here's Wow. Here's my priest. She has some goggles. I actually got these the other day in my most recent Mechagon hard mode run. And I don't know why I didn't put them on at first, because one, they're gorgeous, and secondly, they're actually very good for me. They were an upgrade. Also, I'm wearing a cloak, that's weird. But the goggles are an upgrade, so I'm wearing them, and I don't think I'm going to bug out of them, because they're purple, and they do match. So we're going to hop on that. I briefly considered getting my priest out to Siege of Orgrimmar ahead of time so I could be even more prepared. But it is Tuesday, and that does mean I have a cache to open, so we should do that before we get out of here. Hi. Hey, Hazel, looking good. Chen is a minimalist. Indeed. He doesn't seem to mind much. He was just now flaring at the wall, and now he's looking for things to eat on the floor. He seems fine. Alright, so I need to check my cache. I did a 10 last week. I had a freehold 10 key on me that I ran with my guild, so we can see if that did anything. Kitty, what's up? She always comes by at the beginning of the streams lately, but she hasn't been sticking around. Alright, drum roll. Kitty, drum roll. What do we get? What do we get? I got a bib. Ooh. That has crit, and it has haste, and it has a socket. That can replace my 430 cloak that had crit and haste and a socket. Wow, I didn't know I had one of those. All right, not mad. Not mad. It has strong stat crit, almost equal haste. It also has leech and a socket. Okay, let's put that on before I forget. I may as well just disenchant this one because it's exactly the same thing, just 10 atom levels worse. And I can get my game sound back because it was on. I think I turned it down a little too far. There we go. Should be something at some point. And I need a gem. And you know what's really nice about being me in this day and age is that I could just hop on my dinosaur and buy myself a haste gem. If only I could remember what they're called. Quick sand, is that the one? Quick sand? Spinel? 50 haste, that's right. There's no 60 haste gem, is there? I don't know, this one's cheap, I'm gonna get this one. If I find a better one at a later date, then I will pop that in, I suppose. And we're gonna get ourselves out to Siege and then just get rolling. My raid difficulty is on Mythic, that's good. We're gonna need that. So I'm thinking we're going to run the priest, and I'm also thinking we're going to run the druid. Her I did move out, although she also has a cache. Not a Mythic Plus cache, I'm not crazy. But she has, she's got herself a PvP cache to open. Did you call it a bib? It is a bib. It is a bib. It's Rawl's bib. That's the name of the item. What's up, everybody? How you guys doing this Tuesday? How have you been? Why can't I hear anything? I had sound moments earlier. Music, oh, it's because I disabled it completely. That's why. That would do it. 2 siege runs in 1 stream. You so funny. Yeah, Jack, you don't think I can do it? This morning I am going to be fueled by a caffeine-free but throat-soothing tea. I have my Squirrel Squad mug. Last chance coming up on these. I'm going to be retiring the Squirrel Squad designs in shirts and mugs once we get the new merch launch. Which should be soon. It depends on if I like the new mug designs or not. I might redo the new mug design. You haven't seen it yet, so you can't be mad. This is why Blizzard tries not to leak things. If I decide I like the one that I have, then I can launch it earlier. And if I decide I want to redo it, then I'm going to have to wait for new samples. But, yeah. Good feeling about today. Going to get them out. Shovel Mage, I hope so. I very much hope I can invoke my streamer luck. Where is that staff from? That is the Spur of the Great Devourer, which is from Heroic Hellfire Citadel. Oh, speaking of tea, so I showed you my mug. You want to see my new teapot? This is the one that I went and bought last weekend because I wanted a larger teapot that had a lid that fit. And I found one with like birdies on it and butterflies, and it's like, it's blue. I like blue. I'm very enchanted. It's not an expensive teapot. It's not a fancy teapot. It's not like a designer teapot. But it's got like a nice pour to it. It's got a slow pour. You got to be patient. But that's fine. I'm not in a hurry. I'm not going anywhere. Very rarely do I need to pour tea and I'm like, give me a hose. You know? I mean, I'm sure the day will come one day. But in that situation, you probably want something stronger than tea. Here's a good luck bomb. Thank you. Love watching your stream while I knock out all of my menial work tasks in the early afternoon. What's up, Colicanth? That sounds like a decent idea. I have been fishing for podcasts for basically doing exactly the same thing. Well, that and like for when I play WoW, because I'm trying to like figure out my evening relaxation routine because I finished the K-drama I was watching. It had a week ending. They always do. I'll finish my story later. Let me rant about K-dramas for a second. They do this thing when they're making Korean drama TV shows, specifically the romance ones, which are the ones I want. I want cheesy, soapy, Korean, over-the-top romance TV shows is what I'm after. And they always start out wonderfully. They start out with a very strong start. They have a strong concept. They have all of the regular formula pieces there. You have, you know, main and secondary male and female leads. You have everything set up. And you're off to a great start. And what they do is they make these shows. This isn't going to be true of every single one, but largely speaking, they make these shows last minute. So that means that they have not finished filming it when they start airing it. They're all typically one season, so it's very rare to get a second season of a Korean drama. It doesn't happen very often. Typically, it's one 16-episode season, hour-long episodes each, and it tells a story, which in my opinion gives you an excellent opportunity to have a concept, have a story, lay it all out, and stick to your guns. And they don't do that. What they do is they make it as they go, and they cave to internet pressure to put in more of characters people like and less of characters people don't like, and like mix up pairings that people are asking for. And it's stupid because it erodes away the whole feeling of the show. And by the end of it, you end up with a weird ending because they didn't know where they were going when they started it. And the endings always let me down. I always get super invested in shows. In the first like 8-10 episodes I am in, and then I finish the show and I'm like, what happened? What do you mean? It lets me down every time. I haven't watched a K-drama with a really good ending in a while, and it's a disappointing thing. But anyways, I finished the one I was watching, so I've been looking for other things to do to kind of relax in like the 8 to 10 time slot whenever I'm not raiding. And I want to play WoW. I just want to fly around on WoW by myself, on my alts specifically, on my like 110 to 120 alts, and pick herbs and mine things in order to level them. I'm going to try and set up a rotation of them because I have so many that are in that 110 to 120 level slot that I figure I can just rotate them through so that they all have full rested, and then just herb and mine until the rested is gone, and then switch to the next one, assuming that I'm not spending too long every day doing this. And I've been fishing for a podcast to put on, or well, for more podcasts because I go through a lot of them. I also listen to them in the morning while I'm drawing. So I've been fishing for more podcasts. And the trouble with podcasts is you can get recommendations from everybody. Everybody has podcasts that they absolutely adore. But I think the thing about a podcast is that most of them, I guess not all of them, but the ones that I like are very specific to very specific niche interests. So if they're specific to somebody else's specific niche interest, they won't necessarily be the one for me. So I need to figure out what I want to listen about and then look for the good podcasts in those categories, I think. Okay, I am very behind because of unnecessary monologues. Let me see. What do we got? Katie says, welcome to the stream. Get anything good in the Mythic Plus cache? I got a bib. I got a 440 crit haste leech socketed cloak. Not mad about that. Good evening, Hazel. I have new baby Bettas right now. Sup, Kayla? That's exciting. I hope they do well. I hope you get some gorgeous ones and they'll all grow up nice and healthy. Oops, wrong chat. Sup, Seraphim? Here on time. Feeling mildly ill, but I've just found a stream with a cat purring. Everything is better. Good job, cat. You helped. You're helping. I mean, she's helping me right now. She's still in the lap. Let's see. I don't usually use a straw for the herbal teas, but I figured if I was going to wear lipstick today, I probably should. Beautiful teapot. Thanks, Mooney. I I'm very careful with it because I like it a lot, which means I'm probably going to break it. And it would be fine if I broke it because, one, they're mass produced and like less than $20, so I could just buy another one. But, you know, I want to treat it nicely. I've welcomed it into my home. It's going to be part of my life. I'm going to use it most days. I should probably try to be nice to it. I want to have a nice, friendly relationship with my teapot. I read too far into the Marie Kondo book and I've gone a little off the edge. Milo the Lomback, thank you very much for the bits. Hello, Hazel. Hope you are having a good day. I went with a friend to see him get his first tattoo. He passed out halfway through the session. The tattoo was going on the upper arm. Oh boy. Did he skip lunch? That's a rookie mistake right there. Never, ever, ever skip lunch. Eat a good meal and bring snacks and stay hydrated. Like anything that you would do before you get like your blood taken, you want to do before you go get a tattoo because that does happen. It's a normal thing to have happen. It's not that embarrassing, but that is a little funny. I love the Myths and Legends podcast. What's that about? I won a pirate transmog contest in my guild, and I got the green corehound mount. That's cool. What a fun event for a guild to do. My guild doesn't give away anything, although to be fair, it's probably because I don't contribute to the guild wealth at all. Many of our raiders are very generous, warm-hearted, open people that will do things like farm fish so that the guild can have feasts, or farm herbs and craft flasks so our guild can have cauldrons for our raid nights. And I farm all of those things and I craft all of those things, but I sell them for personal gain because I'm a mean, selfish lady. Although maybe I could stop that now that I have my Brutus, or maybe I don't need to anymore. In our house, we call that kitty purr therapy. Costs fresh, crunchy. Hang on. Cost fresh kitty crunchies. I see. I read at some point, and I don't remember where I read this, so maybe I just imagined it, but there was some study about the vibrations of a cat purr having some kind of healing and or soothing properties when applied directly to the human body. So I don't know if it's true or not. It very well may not be, or it might be just like just the nice calmingness of having your cat love you enough to lay on you and purr. But I always, whenever I'm feeling down or just ill, my cat does me the favor of snuggling with me and purring next to me, and I always think that she's trying to help. I hope this isn't a question you have to answer often. What brand of hair dye do you use? First of all, sup. I go to a salon these days. I used to do it myself at home, and when I did that, I used Arctic Fox hair dyes. I liked them because they were non-damaging, they smelled amazing, and they were vegan. And I didn't like them because they faded fairly quickly and my hair would bleed color onto things, which it still kind of does to this day. Recently, my hair has been done at the salon using Pulp Riot dyes, I believe is what my hair artist uses on me these days. And it doesn't bleed as much as the Arctic Fox did. It does bleed a little bit. And what I mean by that is if like a piece of hair falls out of my head and it lands in the sink, like a white porcelain sink, and then it's wet, and you don't notice right away and pick it up, you're going to come back like the next day and you're going to clean up the hair, but there's going to be a stain on the sink. And that's just kind of part of my life. I don't mind because it all bleaches right out and I have to bleach my tub anyways because it's going to get stained with hair dye. But it is something you should be prepared for going into your hair dyeing experience, is that many fashion hair dye colors will stain. And not necessarily just when they're fresh either. They will stain if you get wet hair on a thing and don't clean it up, which is kind of life. It's very hard to prevent that entirely. What about the round froggy boys? Food, water, good sleep are a must for when I get tattooed. Yep. All of the things that you would do if you were going to have blood drawn. Or even just getting a vaccination. Like if you're iffy about needles, it's always very important to take care of your, I don't know what to call it. I always call it like my fortitude, I just want to make sure that I'm, I've got a good, strong spirit for that day and I'm not prone to fainting. Because I have been there. Mostly when I was younger and I wasn't as careful about these things. I don't think I ever passed out in public, but I would often get very lightheaded during either stressful situations or just like medical situations with needles. And I don't really get that anymore. And I think it's because I've learned that it's important to eat. I missed that lesson as a younger person. And once I realized that, having enough food and enough water and making sure it's real food helps you feel like a living human being. It's a really great discovery. What are we up to today, Sapari? We are doing Siege of Orgrimmar mount runs on Mythic difficulty to try for the Corcoran Juggernaut mount. I just realized I managed to kill the protectors and I didn't bug them out. Good day so far. Wish my cat purred? Does your cat do something else instead? Maybe they have like an evolved purr. Maybe you have next generation purring. You just don't know it yet. My guild is awesome. We all try to donate a bit, some more than others. One of our guildmates talked like a pirate the whole raid, and it was amazing. Oh, that's fun. That's fun. Actually, speaking of pirate mogs, let me show you, once I log over, I'll see if I can remember. I probably won't, but in the event that I remember, I gotta show you guys my new mog for my Brewmaster Monk. My female lady dwarven Brewmaster Monk. Her transmog was not cutting it for me, especially because she didn't have one. She just had heirlooms on. It was not working out, and I gave her a fresh, shiny new coat of clothes, and I'm quite delighted with my results. Are you vegan? I am not, no. I am a pescatarian. I know vegan. No, I know vegan people. My friends are vegan. My mom's vegan. No. I mean, they are, but I'm pescatarian, so I do eat dairy and eggs. I do not eat poultry, so no chicken, no duck. I do not eat beef or pork. I do eat seafood. And then I suppose as far as goods go, I think more or less decided that I don't really boycott leather. I don't know. I guess I don't feel strongly enough about it to boycott leather. I do own like a leather belt. I would probably own a leather watch band if it came to that. But I don't eat beef. I don't know where the line is. It's whatever an individual person is comfortable with, I think. What's required to get something from the Mythic chest in Borellis? Run anything Mythic or above a certain level. At least a 2. As soon as you've run a Mythic Plus, you will unlock a chest. And then the higher the level, the better the stuff in the chest is. Actually, speaking of the chest, I wonder how much Titan Residuum I have. Because I got 31k, my island mission, which I had to do last night. Apparently yesterday on stream, I noticed right before I ended my stream that I hadn't done my islands yet. And I was like, maybe we can do those in stream tomorrow. And then my husband got home and he's like, it's Monday night, right? And I'm like, oh, true. Yep. So we knocked out the islands real quick. And my treasure map mission is going to give me another 5k or so Titan Residuum. So I can try and get another piece. I'm not mad at my helmet, and I'm not mad at my chest piece. The chest piece could be higher item level. It's a 430, so I could get a 445. That would be nice. Shoulders are 445, but their traits suck. I got those from a Titan Residuum piece, but the traits are not good. I would very much prefer to have a better piece, so I think I'm going to keep gambling for shoulders. And I think I can try again next week. Someone on Reddit was talking about his Tales of Vanilla. He said there was a ret paladin that did virtually no DPS, but was so positive he always had a spot. There's a role for you. You're the guild mood anchor. It's nice if you could also do DPS, but like in Vanilla, I don't know much about it, so I could be wrong in this count. But my impression of paladins was that they were less about the damage and more about providing buffs, and that was kind of their thing that they would do. Covidi, thank you very much for the sub. Welcome to the Squirrel Squad. Appreciate the support. I bet she gets drunk a lot. Your monk, I meant. I actually had to switch her. I actually had to switch her to be a Windwalker, despite my better judgment. But I was leveling, and by leveling I mean flying around, mining and herbing. And while doing so, there would be a mob standing on top of the node that I wanted to mine. And I didn't go ahead and get myself the spurs or whatever, so I had to get off my mount to mine. So I just needed to like clear 1 or 2 mobs now and then. And I could do it as Brewmaster, but it was agonizingly slow. Plus, I did not have a Brewmaster weapon heirloom fully upgraded. But I did have one-handers. The Venerable McGowan Mass, whatever, the one-handed maces, the Agi maces, I have those fully upgraded from when I leveled my enhancement shaman. So I switched to Windwalker. I don't have any earthly idea how to punch stuff. From vaguely skimming the spell book, I understand that I need to alternate my spells just like the repeat performance verdict. So I'm trying to not back-to-back any spells. Aside from that, I don't know. You do the punchy, you do the kicky, you do the many punches, you do the flippy kicky. I don't know. You just press some buttons until something falls over. I don't play Melee. Why do I know? Oh, man. Happy to catch your stream. How are you doing? What's up, Jura? I am doing quite nicely today. It is a beautiful sunny day out today. I went on a lovely walk with my dog this morning, as I do, but today I was on a long stretch that was sidewalk, and I had like a weird Animal Crossing moment where I kept passing right in the middle of the sidewalk. I had to step over them so I didn't crush them. Different, interesting looking large insects. So first there was a giant wasp, and it was just like buzzing but also sitting, so we skipped by that. That scared the dog a little bit. And then there was a large beetle, and it was like a flat, narrow beetle, and it was just chilling right in the middle. And then there was a dragonfly, and all of these things were like, you know, probably like 20 meters away from each other. They weren't right next to each other, but they were all right in the middle of the sidewalk, and they were all very distinct. They weren't bugs that I had seen often before, at least not in that place. And I, like, the first one I was like, wasp. And then the second one is like, neat beetle. And then I saw the dragonfly, and I'm like, am I in Animal Crossing? Am I supposed to pick up these bugs and turn them into a museum or sell them to a shopkeeper and get some kind of coins? I'm confused but intrigued. Do you know when Operation Mechagon will come out on Heroic? I would anticipate that's going to be an 8.3 change, so not the upcoming 8.25 patch, but the one after that. That's just a guess, though. I really don't know. I would assume so, because, like, when else would they do it? I guess they could do it in 8.25. I feel like that's a little early. Maybe not. Because when it comes out in Heroic, they're also going to release it on Mythic Plus. Just tuned in. Do you do anything special to reduce annoyance for Immersius? I really don't, and if you have any suggestions, I'd love to hear them, because it's the worst. Let's see. Blue and green is the hardest color to get out, but the leftover color adds interesting high and low lights. It can fade pretty ugly. I find that the worst fade on me is whenever I have yellow in my hair, it's pretty much all gone. There were like rainbow bits back here that have pretty much faded out. But bright yellow fades the worst on me. I find the blues and the green are kind of okay, although you can tell the ends of my hair. I'm pretty sure that my stylist is going to cut these off next time I see her. She's been bugging me to let her do it for ages. The bottom part of my hair is damaged to the point that it doesn't hold color anymore, just because it's the oldest hair, and that's the stuff that I was dyeing on my own before I met her. So that doesn't hold color anymore, and it gets kind of grayish, but I think green can fade nicely. I never participated in my guild's raid. I would just log in right before raid time and yell, "Stay crushing it" into guild chat. Yeah, we've had people do that in Discord before. Just now and then just pop in and go, "Yo, keep up the good work, dudes." Or, well, something probably more vulgar than that, but to the same general effect. Is there a type of beta you would recommend for a first-time beta owner? I would actually, honestly, if you're really looking for a beginner-friendly beta, they're all pretty beginner-friendly. They're fairly easy fish. But what I would do, and these are a little harder to find, see if you can find a plakat beta. They have shorter fins, and I know that the whole draw of a beta fish is like the really long, flowy fins. But that's also the biggest risk factor with them. It's something that I struggle with, even though I maintain my tanks obsessively. And a plakat beta is going to have a shorter fin on the bottom. It's going to have sort of like a nice little half moon tail, especially if you can get like a half moon plakat. And they are a little sturdier. They are a little stronger. They're closer to the natural beta shape. They're like less inbred. So they're both going to be slightly genetically sturdier on average, not always, but generally, as well as having less finnage for other fish to nip if you keep them with other fish. And if you don't, it'll just be an easier fin to maintain. So I would try to find a plakat beta. Operation Mechagon Mythic only will stay until Mythic Season 4. What season are we on now? Are we on Season 3? Yeah, because we had... No, yeah. No, we had... Are we on... Yeah, we must be on 3, because I know we had the Infested, and now we have Beguiling. No, we had Infested, and then we had Reaping, and now we have Beguiling. That's right. That's how it goes. Thinking these might be signs of the upcoming bee mount? What, the insects in the road, or did I miss something? Oh, they were just waiting to be charmed and fed to a ravenous slime. Oh, man. My poor, I don't know where they're coming from, but the poor critter cannon rabbits are really getting wrecked by me for that. I haven't been out in a few days. I only need one more, oopsie-daisies. I only need one more slimy pet. And I am insisting on farming it up myself. So it's going to take me 17 years to get the last one. I'm going to get nothing but dupes until 2037. But I need a slimy hermit crab, so I should still be farming them. I've gotten a little lazy, but I should still go back and farm for my slimy hermit crab. And I no longer hunt for pets. I wish I had known about this back when I made the video, because it would have been a very good tip to include in the video. I'm sure somebody has probably mentioned it in the comments. It's probably there somewhere. But I just use the critter hand cannon now, as has been suggested to me. And then I type /tar rabbit. I'm sure I could make a macro for all this, but I just use the critter hand cannon. I use a macro, or sorry, not a macro. I just type out a target onto the rabbit that the critter hand cannon summons, and then I use that. It's a little bit wonky because the rabbit does not always follow me. Sometimes it'll charm, but it'll still be bouncing around wherever it was, so it just has to bounce within range of the slime for the slime to eat it, but I do generally get it to work. I find sometimes if the pet is not following, then mounting up can be the thing that helps it catch up to you. Feed them to a slime. Goodness gracious. They're just trying to live their lives. I mean, I would say if I had a really big fish, I might feed them to a really big fish. But also, if I'm not sure of what kind of bug it is, I might not want to feed it to my fish because you never know. I should stop walking over bombs, huh? I need one more pile. It looks like I missed it and it's right out there. How's my buddy doing? Is he on camera? Is he hiding? I think I see him sort of in the back middle. Maybe not. Maybe I'm just imagining. Oh, there he is. I was definitely imagining something that was not him. How you doing, bud? He's getting a lot more of those like iridescent bright blue scales. When I first got him, they weren't even blue. They were like silver. And they've kind of like filled into this sort of shiny blue. It's hard to see him with the light right there. But I am fairly happy with how he's been doing. Okay, Jaina should be here any minute. And I need to protect my gnomes. I need to protect my gnomies. We had a frog apocalypse over the weekend when we had an amazingly nasty storm that flooded a lot of the town. Oh boy, that sounds biblical. That sounds like one of the, how many plagues were there? 7, 4, 5, 3? Some amount of plagues. You got frogs, you got locusts, you have, well, I don't know. Those are the only ones I remember. Those are the gross ones. There was like a blood disease. This is a gruesome book. What shenanigans have you gotten yourself into? Nothing too crazy. Oh, let me tell you. Well, let me catch up in chat before I start telling you, because it's gonna be a long one. What about bangs? I feel like they would go well with pink. I used to have them, and it was a pain when I wanted to grow them out, but they were cool. I mean, I've had bangs since I was 16, and I have not gone back to not having bangs since. You're right, it is annoying to grow them out if you decide to change your mind, but until then, you're cool. All you have to do is trim them. I would recommend learning how to trim them yourself, because it's like really annoying to go to the salon just for a bang trim. And I certainly don't get out to my salon often enough for that, so I just have a nice pair of hair cutting scissors, and I just learned how to trim my own bangs relatively smoothly. I mean, I just did them this morning, actually. They're decent, they're fine, they're close enough. I'm never gonna say they're perfect, but they're good enough. And, you know, it's fine. If you ever do decide to grow them out, then you just, like, embrace a cute headband for a while, or just, like, brush them to the side. I went through a really awkward phase recently. When I had been cutting my bangs before I went to see my stylist, I had been cutting them far too wide. Like, I had hair that was growing out of here that was part of my bangs that really shouldn't be, so they went too far back the sides of my face. And, when I met with her, we were correcting my bang shape, which meant letting those side pieces grow out, and they were like really awkwardly like cheekbone length for a really long time. They're just now long enough. They're right about here-ish, and they're long enough to kind of sweep back with the rest of my hair finally. But I had some weird, awkward pinning to do for like a really long time. Hi, Hazel. Floyd here now. What's up, you're cheap? Bangs would look great. I don't have them for that exact reason of having to grow them out. There are some other things to consider with them. If you are prone to skin issues, particularly on your forehead, they can aggravate that because any product that you have in your hair will transfer to your forehead. Similarly, any makeup you have in your forehead will transfer to your hair, so you need to be aware of that when you're planning both your hair care and your makeup. They are, at least for me, always a mess if I'm out in the wind. They only ever look nice when I'm indoors and I have had time to fix them, which is fine for me because people only ever see me on camera. So I can just kind of fix them before I go on camera and it's fine. But if you catch me like out grocery shopping when there was a windy parking lot, it looked like a mess. And what else about them? That's about it. Whenever I trim them, I get like hair on my cheekbones, and I never remember to do it before I do my makeup, so I have some of that right now. I went insane farming this instance. I am trying to mentally prepare myself to be here for a long time. I am doing my best in my heart of hearts to learn to love Siege of Orgrimmar, because odds are good that we're gonna be here for a long time, because not only is it a low drop rate raid, I mean, it's a regular drop rate, but it's a low drop rate mount, but I cannot fit nearly as many attempts in. You know, when we were just farming Throne of the Four Winds or even Ulduar or Invincible, I could run through 10 to 12 attempts every single Tuesday. And now I would have to do 2 runs a stream every single stream in order to get up to 12 runs, which I might end up doing because I want to be done this place, you know, before 2021 would be nice. I'm not fussy with big fins. I'd rather have a happy friend as a fish. Thanks for the info, Hazel. Also, there are some gorgeous half implicates. Like, there are some really pretty fish. I wouldn't worry too much about him not being cute. It's commitment for sure. Scarier to get bangs than to get pink hair. Don't know what to do. Your Betta is beautiful. I thank you. I am still trying desperately to get him to grow his caudal fin back. He had a bit of fin rot in this tank. We've corrected the issues, and his anal fin and his dorsal fin, like the bottom and the top ones, are recovering really well. And I can't understand why his back fin isn't better yet. He's had all the treatments. We've tried everything. Well spaced apart. Oh, there we go. We're ready to go up. Kaylorian, thank you very much for the sub. Welcome to the Squirrel Squad. I think you might actually be a very special sub number. I think you might be sub number 600. Unfortunately, you don't win anything. I didn't plan anything, but it's an exciting thing to be nonetheless. So thank you, and I appreciate the support. Also, we got emotes, and we got more emotes as of today. So I added in the hazelfish. I did upload that, and it's been approved. So if you guys wanna spam a fish when you see a fish, there is a hazelfish available. Additionally, I drew a few more last night, inspired by the Mercy Wings that Ultrail likes to put on either side of Joker. I decided to add a Void Tent 1 and a Void Tent 2 so that you can sandwich those on either side of any emote you like and make it into a void forming version of that thing. I'm very happy with those. I'm gonna use them. Those are just for me. So that'll be neat. And additionally, I commissioned another 5. So those won't be ready for like a week because I've commissioned an actual artist to help me with them. But when they are ready, there will be 5 more emotes. And that still leaves, I think, 3 or 4 slots left. But that's a problem I'll worry about on the other side of these 5. Hey, Hazel, saw your video on the Worgen model and animations. Do you know if the Goblin animations are different as well? I don't know. I would guess that they are, but I don't know that for sure. That is my next video, though. I'm going to do another version of the Worgen video, but with goblins instead, to take a look at their new models. So that is what we are working on yesterday and today. Should be out this week. Have you ever seen Fish Plays Pokemon on Twitch? I can't say that oh no, I have actually. I didn't like sit and watch it, but I'm familiar with the concept. That was a really funny thing. I need ghost pepper powder to deter the squirrels from eating my outdoor rug. You have an outdoor rug? Fun, fancy. Hey, Hazel just joined. How much stream is left? Oh, a fair amount. We're only just starting. We're about half an hour in. We're only on our first Siege of Orgrimmar run, hopefully of 2. I need to get this run done by 11. I have 27 minutes to get through the second half of this run, so I just need to motor ahead, keep going. Don't wipe on spoils. Don't bug out the Paragons, and it'll be fine. It'll be just fine. Also, I am not going to engage the Blind Blade Master. I am Hazel, and I will not engage the Blind Blade Master. I don't care how he looks at me. Does your forehead shine brighter than the stars? Oh man, nobody's seen my forehead in years. Actually, that's not true. In my PC building video, I had a headband on with my hair back just because I had like, I had a couldn't even anymore moment and I needed to film something and I wasn't about to go do my hair. But aside from that, my forehead very rarely makes an appearance. Okay, I will not kill the Blind Blade Master. No, sure. I went to different hairdressers to get a bang cut. One of them cut them too wide and too short are both terrible. I have really strong opinion about bangs. Yours are nice. I like short bangs, just not on me. I know the look, and it's actually fairly popular around here. Like the short sort of vintage looking ones, and I think they're super cute. I just wouldn't wear them myself. I don't like them for my face. The super wide, though, is a weird look. Mine definitely used to be way too wide. I'm definitely glad I got help with them. Hi, Hazel. Are you doing a special stream for Classic launch on Monday, 6 p.m. EST? If not, you should. So what's that, 3 p.m. Pacific? It's not my normal stream time. Maybe. Like, I understand it's going to be a big stream event. But, like, all the streamers are also going to be doing it. Don't you guys have somebody who's excited about Classic that you want to watch play Classic? I'm gonna play it at some point. I just, it's gotta be somebody that you would rather spend your time with that's, like, really hyped about it. I feel like it would be rude of me to fake being hyped about it. I mean, I could log on and go, yes. I thought I was going to come up with more words to say, but that's it. It's going to drop today, and you're going to be out of here. Oh, I am behind. 600 subs? Who was number 69? I actually don't know. More emotes? Oh, yeah. There's the Hazel Void Dance. There we go. That's the stuff. 600 balloon drop? Void emotes? I think I broke Will of the Emperor. I give up. Oh, no. She almost turned around to get him. Stream that 10,000 person login queue. Ugh. Maybe that's what I'll do is I'll see if I can log in, and, like, if I can't even log in, then of course I don't want to stream. Although, to be fair, login queue streams, very popular. Those were always my hugest, those were my biggest streams on YouTube, were always login queue streams after a patch, because lots of people that weren't even stream viewers would sit in the stream just to find out when servers went up. I don't think it's a really great way to grow your channel, because those people will never come back. But yeah, I guess they could, you know. I don't think I'm going to sell them with my sparkling personality, but I could try and sell them with my sparkling cat. Nimpy Lee, thank you very much for the sub. Welcome to the Squirrel Squad. Appreciate the support. I hope you are having a delightful Tuesday. I can't believe Monday's already over. Yesterday went very quickly. I did not get as much done as I wanted to, despite the fact that I was working all day. I got so much done, but a lot of the things were not on my list. I am doing better at spending my time more productively, but I am not doing any better at impulse control. It's just that I've been having more productive impulses lately. I'd rather watch somebody who is just as excited about WoW Classic as I am, stares blankly. There'll be better snark from someone who's not excited about Classic? Maybe. I'm afraid to snark too much, because one, it's kind of rude. It's something people worked very hard on. It serves a niche. It just doesn't happen to be my niche. Just because it's not for me doesn't mean it's not worth something. But also, the Classic community is passionate, I think is the word. And I would hate to get on their bad side. When I was 9, my mom went to Poland to visit my family, and my dad took the opportunity to slice off my hair. Gave me horrendously short bangs. 20 years later, it's still a family joke. Oh, Dad. Why'd he do that? Was he like, I could totally see actually a dad doing that, especially if they're, like, sick of cleaning up their kids' hair. When my sister and I were young, we both had long hair, and we used to clog sink drains like nobody's business. It wasn't until my stepdad had us help him unclog it and discover how gross that job is that we both got better at keeping our hair out of the drain. I want somebody who feels existential dread over Classic just like I do to watch. Oh, man. Finally subbing since you moved totally to Twitch. Aw, shucks. Is it better to support you on Patreon or here on Twitch? Patreon gives me a slightly better cut, but it is so close that if you plan to watch streams, I think it's more fun to have the emotes and the badge. Oh. Blizzard are genius managing to sell people a game which they already played 15 years ago. I think it's a smart thing to re-release just because not everybody did play it 15 years ago. I certainly didn't. I would have been old enough to play, but I wasn't into PC gaming at that point. I didn't get into PC gaming until 2007, 8. So I definitely missed the initial Classic hype. So I think it's going to be interesting for me, not necessarily as like a new game to actually actively play, but just kind of as like a museum to explore and give a greater appreciation for the conveniences we own today. It's kind of like walking through like a World War II museum and learning about all the things that people would eat and wear and the sacrifices they would make at home because of the economic state, and go, wow, I am so lucky to live in a present day where I have all of these amazing luxuries and conveniences and safeties. Darkwinds, thank you very much for the sub. Welcome to the Squirrel Squad. Squirrel Squad's growing, dudes. We're about ready to take over like a local park. Oh man, we're about ready to get all those dragonflies off the sidewalk and set up a... Hang on, I do not wait in front of a door. The door doesn't open. The stairs are behind me. I know this. Quality of life losses alone will cause many people to drop Classic. I think, and this isn't an actual theory, this is just like a pet fantasy theory. I imagine that there are developers that work on Live that are very excited about the concept of WoW Classic, because the WoW community in general has cultivated a habit of being not necessarily entitled, but being very sensitive and ready to complain about anything. And I feel like, no, we're not ungrateful. And also, we don't need to be grateful. It's a business. We're buying a product. Gratitude doesn't really enter the conversation. But in my head, I like to imagine the WoW dev being like, you'll know what you had once you visit the land where it's gone, you know? And then they just like smugly update their not a bug list and go, nope, it actually was like that. And it's just kind of like a giant, very expensive way to say, look at all of the work we've done over the last 15 years. Appreciate us, gosh darn it. I don't think that's what's happening. It's not an actual theory. It's just like a pet fantasy, but it's funny. People liked classic WoW back in the day because EverQuest was so horrible. I like to look at how medical care was back in the day. It makes me feel good to live in present times. Integration of community was a good thing. I do think that there are things that we have lost. There are trade-offs that have been made in the name of convenience that maybe were or were not worth it. But the really nice thing about having Classic available alongside Live WoW is that you as a player now have the agency to make a choice. You can decide which side of the convenience versus immersion / community / RPG vibes trade-off you want to sit on. You know, do you want the commitment of being in a group and staying in that group because it took you 2 hours to format out a trade chat? Or do you want the convenience of being able to get home after work and hop into a group of people that you'll never play with again? But at least you can get the dungeon done before you have to pick your kids up from school. Like and both options are fine. There's nothing wrong with either one of those scenarios. Nobody is wrong or a bad person. It's really nice that we have options now. Can I open this door? Knock, knock. Oh, and probably the lever. Man, they don't like knocking around here, do they? How many people before it's no longer a squad? I mean, so what do you think? If we hit 1,000 subs, I start calling you guys Squirrel Squadron? I like the alliteration of the SQU beginning, so I feel like we would have to go to Squadron. At 1,000, it becomes a Squirrel Horde. As someone who works in IT, I can confirm that's how devs work. I plan on using Classic to get back into RP writing. Feels like the perfect opportunity to do so. I'm definitely going to try it. Maybe I'll fall in love. You never know. I have the name reserved. I have Hazel reserved, and that's wild. So I'm going to be able to play a character that's just named Hazel spelled properly. Looking forward to that. Oh, integrate content in Classic that was intended for Classic, like Caravan or Hellfire? I have doubts. I don't think never, but I don't think that that's the current intended plan for how Classic's going to unfold. I think they're very much leaning in on the museum idea of it. I want the Emerald Dream intended in Classic in that case. Imagine if they made an expansion for Live WoW, and instead of actually making an expansion with a storyline, they just go back, and maybe they use some kind of weird, like, Bronze Dragonflight time-walking storyline for this. And I really hope they don't, because enough time travel. But they go back and they add in all of the raids and dungeons and zones that were scrapped. This is the worst idea ever. They were scrapped for a reason. But, you know, you could go back and add in the Vashir raid. You could go back and add in, so there was what? There was the Vashir raid. There was Like in Zoldrak, out like what is that dungeon called? Zoldrak? There was a huge place there that like never got turned into anything. There's all kinds of like skipped opportunities, and this is the worst idea because they were probably skipped for very valid reasons. You know, but fun to think about what could have been. So happy no more ICC. Grats, Lemon the Metal. The squirrels in my yard are very much a horde, always fighting amongst themselves over a nut. The thing that keeps playing through my mind every time someone asks about WoW Classic is the quote, "You think you want vanilla, but you don't." I am curious to find out how many people thought they wanted it, but it turns out they don't. I think that most of them that think they wanted it probably do. I certainly don't think vanilla is going to crash. I don't think it's going to die. But I also don't think it's going to kill Live WoW. I think they can exist side by side. And I do think Classic will be smaller than Live. I don't know. We'll find out. If Classic turns out to be more successful than Live, it's a big win for Blizzard because it's the game that's going to be cheaper for them to maintain. Once they have all of the development costs out of the way to get it up and stable and running, they're not making new content for it. So they just have a fatter range of people that are attached to their monthly sub now. And for content they don't have to pay to continue to maintain. I mean, they have to maintain it. They got to keep the servers up and whatever. But like, it's a great deal for them because they have one upfront cost and then they can continue to benefit from it for like forever. It's very smart. It makes me wonder if they're going to have simultaneous legacy servers for other expansions, because I think you run into problems once you start having a server for Vanilla and BC and Wrath. And I don't know if anybody's asking for Kata servers yet, but that starts to become a problem once you have fragmented your player base onto so many different versions. So I'm interested to see where the line is, but I do think that doing it for Classic's just real smart. I don't know if I did. I meant to. This is only at 98. I don't know why it even let me press that. All right, there we go. Now we can press the button. I'm surprised at the way the Douglas squirrels can beat up the larger gray squirrels. Why are you guys watching squirrel fights? Okay, I'm gonna keep going. I'm going to pay attention to my spoils run, because otherwise I will wipe and have to do this again. So I'm gonna ignore you guys for a few minutes while I open crates and kill mobs. In the meantime, I can tell you the amazing saga. Not very amazing. Not really twist ending, but you know, I have to come up with something to talk about. Of my adventure. This is the lamest thing. Cleaning my oven. So, our oven... Let me back up. My kitchen stays reasonably clean. When my husband and I moved into this place, it was the first place that we were living in alone together. Previous to this, we had roommates. And previous to that, I had mostly lived with either a roommate or my parents, like my mom. I had my own place all alone once for like a brief period in time, and it was a very small place. It wasn't very good. So this was the first place that I had that I really had full creative control over and full cleaning control over. So I have been keeping the kitchen reasonably clean for its entire life. Things like the microwave, I keep the microwave spotless because I have lived in enough places and worked in enough places that have gnarly microwaves that I don't want that. If something spills, it gets cleaned up because it's only going to get worse. And unfortunately, I had not extended that kind of philosophy to my oven, like my actual oven. The stovetop stays clean, the countertops get wiped down, everything's clean except for the oven because for whatever reason, I just, like, whenever I tried to clean it, it just wouldn't clean, so I just kind of gave up and accepted that there was going to be some layer of grime on the bottom of it. And usually what it mostly consists of is mostly crumbs, because what we do is we cook frozen pizzas relatively often. They are fast and inexpensive. They're not good for you. We probably should stop, but there's only so many days a week that I can handle cooking. And it's cheaper than takeout, and it's probably just as unhealthy as takeout. So we do frozen pizzas, and the way we do those is directly on the rack. So any crumbs from the bottom of the pizza, or if any cheese bubbles over, it ends up on the bottom of the oven. And we've lived here for like 4 years-ish, and I had never thoroughly cleaned the oven because I never had a successful way to do it. And I've been on a big cleaning kick. So I was researching ways to try and clean it, and I came across some articles about how to do it in a non-toxic, Zen vibe friendly way with like baking soda and tears and like, you know, fairy hugs, like, and I tried that and it was garbage and didn't do anything because I had not cleaned my oven in 4 years. Those are tips and tricks for people that clean their ovens. I had not done so. So I needed, and I tried magic erasers, and I tried scouring pads, and I tried soaking it. I tried a lot of things. And more recently, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and, turn on all the fans and wear some gloves. And which side do I want to do this one? Turn on all the fans, open all the windows, wear some gloves, make sure the cat and the dog are a safe distance away, make sure nobody else is home, make sure the oven's off, and just, get some caustic chemicals and clean this thing, because it's probably also not good for us to breathe in the fumes from reheating the layer of grime and crumbs at the bottom of the oven forever. So I found a fume-free oven cleaner, and the directions were spray it liberally, don't get it on the heating element, do it in a cold oven, and leave it overnight, and then wipe it away in the morning, and it'll all be gone. So I did that last night. The stuff arrived the other day, and I did it last night. I kept it off of the heating element. I had a nightmare where the oven door had melted away because I had sprayed it on the door, and I realized I hadn't checked to see if it was okay for the glass, but it must be because the glass is fine. Fume-free my butt. Maybe it's because my oven wasn't ice cold. It was it hadn't been on for a few hours, but it definitely was still a little bit warm, so maybe that was my fault. Maybe that's why we got some fumes, but I turned on the fans, got it out of there. And then left it on overnight, and this morning I went in there with my gloves and paper towels and some soapy water and a sponge, and it's actually magical. I don't necessarily recommend this because these chemicals are probably dangerous. I have probably reduced the lifespan of my lungs or something. But man, my oven's finally clean. There were a couple spots that didn't come off that I think I just didn't apply the stuff correctly to, so I have reapplied on those. I'm going to try and wipe it out again this evening. But I'm just very excited because it was the last stronghold of mess, aside from under my fridge, which I don't know even how to go about moving. Aside from under my fridge, it's the last stronghold of weird grossness in my home that I had not yet conquered, so I feel very conquering. Oh, I should have waited a sec. Are we good? Are we good? Am I gonna die? You never know. You never know when it's just gonna randomly be nope. I think we're good. Okay. How you doing? WoW Classic was casual in comparison to EverQuest. Classic has sustained success. We'll start to see work in BC. Maybe. What else did I miss? It's always going to be a good story when she prefaces with "this is so lame." Oh, you like the oven cleaning content? Oh, man. You spend so much time playing WoW, making videos that the most exciting thing going on is cleaning your oven. I think I would have been excited about it anyways. Just because that's something that I see almost every day. I cook a lot. I bake a lot. Supposedly, your food tastes better when it's in a clean oven. And after having seen it be ugly and gross for years, how fun is it to open an oven and be like, man, did we just move in? Who lives here? It's fun. Man, I was expecting people to be mad at me for cleaning my oven with chemicals, but you're just mad about Classic. Let's see. Line the bottom of your oven with foil so crumbs fall onto it. You can just change it to foil. Yes, so that's the other thing I did last night when I was thinking about this. I was thinking about how to maintain the cleanliness of my newly cleaned oven because I'm probably going to continue cooking frozen pizzas. Maybe that's the real source of chemicals my body should be worried about. I ordered some foil liners. There's apparently silicone ones, but people were saying those are a bad idea, so I ordered some foil ones that sit in the bottom, and then you can just change them out once they're dirty, and that should help. That and spot cleaning should help keep it clean, because I just want to be able to look in the window and see in very clearly. I don't know what splattered. What's the product you use to clean your oven? I'm hesitant to recommend it just because I don't know if it's safe. I've read a lot of reviews online because I do that, and I found people that found it to be perfectly fine. I would assume if you're following the instructions carefully, it's going to be fine. It's the popular brand of fume-free oven cleaner. But if you do decide to do so, please do so with caution, especially regarding pets. They do not have a choice about what they are breathing in. To use foil around your stove as well as the oven for cleaning. We have a flat top range. Is that what it's called? It's basically, if you've seen the baking stream, you know what I'm talking about. The stove top is a completely flat, smooth surface, so there's no way to put foil on that because it would be on top of the burner directly. But the oven liner we can do. I am actually still looking for a way to properly clean that stovetop because it does wipe down fine, but right around the edges of the burners, there is a layer of something that does not come off no matter what I do to it. And I don't really want to oven cleaner that because I don't know if that stuff is safe for the range top. It's probably not. It's very corrosive. And I don't know what else I can use on it. I should do some Googling because the magic erasers do not take it off, really. I hate cleaning my oven. Yeah. It's not, I mean, it's fun when it works. I will never again clean a very gross oven with very burned on stuff without using the big boy chemicals. Like, I'm just gonna suck it up and use the safety procedures. I will probably wear a breathing mask next time, even though it's fume free, just in case. But just suck it up, make your preparations, take it seriously, but just use the stuff that's gonna get it gone. Otherwise, you're just spending so much time scrubbing on something that's not gonna go away. My oven has a self-clean. The smell is horrendous. Our oven also has a self-clean. Every oven I've ever had has a self-clean, and I don't use them anymore because in a past oven, I used it and it completely burned out the control mechanism so that it would freak out every time that a burner got above like 60% heat. And then in a previous oven, it would always, always, always set off the fire alarms because it would just get so very hot. Self-cleaning ovens frighten me because they're getting to insane temperatures and sustaining them to just burn everything off the sides. And that seems aggressive. Maybe it's less aggressive than chemicals. I don't know, but it doesn't smell any better. So I prefer to just spray it down and leave it on overnight. Why would people be mad about you cleaning your oven with chemicals? They wouldn't expect you to clean it with pure VoD. Maybe that's what I'll do next time. I'll just call up my buddy in Zoth. Be like, yo, what do you got for baked on cheese? What you got? Just got invincible. No more ICC. Congrats, Valkyrie. Barkeeper's friend. Great for the stovetop. I'll have to try that. I hadn't used it because I don't know what my stovetop is made of. I've been using the Barkeeper's Friend powder on all of my stainless steel surfaces, and it does a bang-up job on those. I haven't tried it on the stovetop. If I can find out what it's made out of, I bet if I Google my fridge or my stove model, I can find out what the top is made of. Because I just want to know. I'd hate to use something on it and then just ruin it because I rent this place. It's not my stove. Baking soda and vinegar is great. The problem with using baking soda and vinegar together is that they neutralize each other out. So unless the bubbling action of them reacting together removes the thing, you're just having like a fun science experiment. Chemicals to clean it once. After that, chemical-less methods to keep it clean. That's the plan. I'm going to try that. Failing that, I do have more of the stuff to like spot clean it with. But I mean, this was 4 years worth of mess. And it came off fairly easily. Hopefully I can keep it clean. Self-cleaning settings should take care of most of that. And self-cleaning scares me. There's special cleaners for that type of stovetop. My family had one a while back, had to do that. I'll have to look into it. I'm hesitant to get even more specialty cleaners. I've started recently, like, you know, for years and years, I would clean everything with one all-purpose cleaner because I'm like, that's the whole point. It's all-purpose. Isn't that why? And I guess I would have an all-purpose and I would have a glass cleaner. I would have like some Windex or something for the mirrors and the windows. And more recently, I got something for the tub for soap scum, and then I got the Barkeeper's Friend for the stainless steel sinks. And it just feels like I'm going to end up with a lot of bottles of stuff, but if it's the right tool for the job, then it's worth it. I guess I have oven cleaner now, too. Hazel, will you be maining Classic come launch day? If so, how long do you think you will last? Maining sounds aggressive. That sounds like a big commitment. I will main it for, like, an hour and a half. Maybe 2 hours. I can give myself 2 hours. I'm not switching. I mean, I might if I decide to, but it is not my current plan. I want an Iron Starlet that size. Imagine an Iron Starlet, but a mount, you know? I don't know how you're going to, like, get a saddle on that thing, but I think it would be worthwhile to investigate. Self-cleaning ovens are a loosely contained inferno, right? I don't know. They just make me nervous. There's probably nothing wrong with them. I'm sure it's very safe. Otherwise, they wouldn't all be like that. I just, you know, we all have things that make us nervous that if you can't avoid it, you know, it's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. Start making your own pizza dough. It's even cheaper than frozen. I'm sure it's cheaper, and I have made really good pizza dough before. The problem with that is that baking homemade pizza required a very hot oven, and that always set off our fire alarm. Maybe actually, now that my oven is clean, or once my oven is clean, I'll be able to bake at above 400 degrees without setting off my fire alarm. That might be nice, if that's true. Our alarms are very sensitive here. But failing that, the big draw of freezer pizza is not necessarily that it is cheap, but that it is cheap and it is also fast. I cook dinners. I cook 7 dinners a week, and then I also do lunches for myself, then lunches for us on weekends, and the occasional breakfast. And I just don't have I guess I have the time. I don't have the mental fortitude to do full meals 7 days a week, especially not like after work and maintaining the house and the pets and stuff. So it's nice to have a few things in the freezer that at least 1 or 2 days a week I can handle just throwing in the oven and being like, okay, we can eat something before raid, specifically on raid nights, because there's even less time to cook on those days. Run inside the star melt like a hamster wheel. Ooh, actually, I don't know why I didn't think of this. Now that we have the wheel mounts, you could have an Iron Starlet version of that. Throw that on the time walking vendor. I would do so much time walking for an Iron Starlet wheel mount. Imagine riding around as an orc in an Iron Starlet wheel mount. Get yourself a Magheart orc. Greg T, thank you very much for the sub. Welcome to the Squirrel Squad. Appreciate the support. What kind of tea do you prefer? If you have a bread maker, you can make the dough for the pizza that way. I confirmed do not have a bread maker, and I'm confirmed not currently in the market for any more appliances. If I had a large kitchen or a kitchen with a pantry so I had extra cabinet space, or basically just like a place to put a shelving unit that I could keep surplus appliances on so that I could have them without having them on my counter, that would be one thing. But I don't want to have like so much stuff just that I don't use very often. If I'm going to have a thing, I need to be using it fairly often. Otherwise, it's not worth the space it takes up in my home. Hazel, sending good vibes your way. I was group lucky today. I got my Glory of the Legion hero finish. Finally killed all the rares at Najatar. That last one was a pain. Grats, Tiffany. You are ahead of the game. Instant pot pizza. I mean, I could use it to prove bread dough. It actually worked very well to prove the focaccia dough. Although I want to try the focaccia recipe again. I think I need to knead it more. I'm wondering if I should start kneading the bread by hand just until the dough comes together and then put it into the stand mixer with the dough hook, because I have a stand mixer. I have a beautiful KitchenAid. It was a gift from my wonderful husband. It's a very nice one. It can handle bread dough. It has a dough hook. It should be able to knead stuff. I just need to figure out like maybe the height adjustment or the dough adjustment or something to get it to actually work, because I've been struggling with that. Arson Raw, thank you very much for the sub. Welcome to the Squirrel Squad. Appreciate the support. Hope you enjoy your fancy new emotes. We got fresh ones today. We got, hang on, I should pay attention. I should not be going AFK in the middle of Paragons. This is the fight that wipes me. This is the fight that wipes me. Also, this is the fight that I bug out because I've killed him too fast. Hang on, let's just wait. He's still coming down. So I'm going to wait for one more. I'm not going to let that thing get me. So there's the other one, and now we can kill Castic. That was close. I should be paying more attention than that. Oh, I forgot to empty my bags. Uh-oh. It's okay. I have a dot on him. And I can kill that one. For some reason, I thought it was mind controlled, but I'm not. We're going to be doing this run on my Druid after this. I am a little late, but not that late. We're going to be doing this run on my Druid after this, and I switched her spec so that she no longer has twin moons, because my cleaving was causing me real problems with bugging at this fight. Okay. We're good, right? Yeah, that's it. My bags are super full. Let me get the Guild Herald out. Guild Herald. I can't believe I went so long without knowing about... Like, I had the pet. I can't believe I went that long without knowing that this guy will just buy my stuff. Not all the time. There's a cooldown on him, but... I can just summon a pet who is carrying my guild's really stunning banner. And then I can sell all my stuff to him. Alright, close enough. That'll do. We leave by the chest entrance. That's right. Oh yeah, I was gonna do a little Hazel Void. Hazel Void. Let's do Hazel Void Dog. Yeah. Oh man. I'm really bad at uncrossing ley lines. It's an art form. It's a learned skill. I was awful at it for a while. My Culturan doesn't fit in my Chunk Drifter mount. Yo, my Culturan doesn't fit in her Albatross. It's very sad because it's a very like Culturan-y mount. And she looks so dumb on her Albatross because she looks like she's going to break the poor thing's neck. Oolong mostly, lavender at bedtime. That sounds lovely. Do you need to figure it out? I do need to figure it out. I don't have that pet. Is it a guild achievement? How did I get that? It's got to be a guild something. Guild vendor, 500 gold, presumably from a guild achievement, I would assume. I don't know which one, but very useful. I think it's a 4-hour cooldown, not 100%. He lasts for some amount of minutes and he is on some amount of hours cooldown. But for situations like this, when you're at the end of a long mount run and you just need to get some stuff out of your bag so you can pick up more stuff, it is very nice to have handy. Didn't know you streamed on Twitch. Sup, Lightwork? I have migrated. This is my new home. And, I mean, it was really about time since my hair does match the platform. The albatross is too small. My Worgen looks silly on it. I like that there's... I mean, my priest looks awesome on it because she's a gnome. But I like that there is a smaller bird mount. Sometimes mounts can feel kind of comically large. But it is a little goofy how some characters just look like they're about to kill the thing. Skullbane, thank you very much for the sub. Welcome to the Squirrel Squad. Appreciate the support. What happened with YouTube? I watched you for years. I'm still going to make videos. I'm just not going to stream on YouTube anymore. That's all. I'm still making videos. Not very quickly lately, but I'll hopefully catch back up. Are you doing a Tusk run? Not today. I'm doing this on my priest, and then I'm going to do my druid. I'm running specifically for the Korkron Annihilator mount is what I'm after. I don't really play plate characters, so I'm not too concerned about the tusks. Captain Hindsight, thank you very much for the bits. What has 4 letters, sometimes has 9 letters, but never has 5 letters? I have no idea. I'm trying very hard to figure it out. I've never really been a good at riddles. Huh. Seriously, I'm getting someone has told you this before. If you don't loot bosses, loot gets mailed to you. I used to only loot the boss with the mounts and stuff. Yeah, that's true. You're not wrong. That's what comforts me about the fact that I can never loot the spoils of Pandaria chest. I get stuck in combat after that boss and then can't loot the chest, so I don't mind because the loot will get mailed to me. I don't know. I don't want to make too much work for the postmaster. I can't really explain my desire to not do that. It just doesn't feel like I can trust it, even though I know I can. It just doesn't feel like I can. Count the letters in the words? Oh! Oh, I get it. Oh, I feel tricked. I thought it was a riddle. I was imagining like postal situations. I was imagining letter magnets on a fridge. Wow. I did not get that. I tried and I failed. That is some who's on first level comedy right there. Took me a while. I see. I've been in that post room. It's crazy. I mean, yeah. I was imagining like the male elemental post room from WoW. I can never remember if I'm supposed to kill these mobs or not. Sometimes I do and sometimes I don't. And I feel like it's always fun, but maybe it takes me longer. I don't know. I don't really have time because if I want to get a second run done, I'm going to need to motor on it. But I kind of want to grab pie because I'm still hungry. I had breakfast, but I'm still hungry and I have a piece of pie in my fridge. I never got to show you guys my apple pie. I made a very cute apple pie. I'm proud of myself. The apples were still kind of crunchier than I wanted them to be. And I don't know if that's because I didn't bake them long enough or if it's because they were just the type of apple. I used Granny Smith apples and they're sliced very thin. We actually have an apple spiralizer. It's the kind of gadget that I would never have if it was just me, but my husband already had one and he showed me how to use it when we were deciding which of our kitchen things to keep. And it's actually super useful because it peels an apple and it slices it into very thin spirals very easily. It's just a thing that only does that, but it works really well. So I was using that to cut the apples for the apple pie, and I don't know if I stacked the apples too high or if I needed to like pre-bake them or something. Like I get that you want them to hold their shape, but they were definitely pretty, they had a bit of a crunch left to them. They were still cooked. That pie is calling you, go get it. If you're not going to have it, I'll slip into the kitchen, take the pie for yourself. Oh, I think I locked my door. Okay, that was attempt number 9 for the Cork Run Juggernaut. No dice. Let's get out of here. And I will probably grab the pie. And then we can try this again on my druid. She's a cat. She's ready to go. She's got sprint. She's got cat form. Maybe I'll just make all of my streams Siege of Orgrimmar streams until I get this thing. It might be boring to watch, but, you know, it'll be less boring than doing it, presumably. Maybe not. I don't know. Let's turn all these into gear. Hey! I got an achievement! Yeah, charge. I love the names of the transmog achievements. They're great. That's so good. Okay. And there's the extra loot in my mail. You know what? I'll deal with this later. I need a piece of pie. I need to get moving because we only have 50 minutes and I got to get through another siege run. And I'm not fast at these. Also, I have a cache to open. So this is the character we're going to be doing. Please enjoy the company of my fish while I get myself a piece of pie. I will be right. Bye. What's up? What did you guys get up to? Everybody behaving yourself. You didn't lock your door. You're out of milk, by the way. There's some concerning noises happening from my hallway. Okay, before I get started, let me show you this pie. So I added a scoop of ice cream because we have that now. So that's the top of it. You can kind of see a side angle. It's hard to show you because it's in a bowl, but it had to be in a bowl because it's ice cream. There's like apples sort of like underneath. I'm bad at this. I'm just going to dump ice cream on my keyboard. But I promise you there's apples in here. They're in like fun little thin shapes. I made that pie. I made the crust. I made the lattice. I sliced the apples. I cinnamoned everything. I did it with my hands. I got like sugar under my nail. Okay. Off we go. Down to difficulty. Mythic. Spec. Balance. All of your streams, Siege of Orgrimmar streams, how fast do you want to burn out? True, but like, if I don't, how long are we going to be in Siege of Orgrimmar? I'm not giving up. I'm going to throw that out right now. I know we're only 10 runs in, or 9 runs in, but I don't care if this takes me 750 runs. I don't care if this is the only thing I do until I'm 36 years old. I'm doing this. I'm getting this mount. I'm not a quitter. So, the more runs I can fit into a week, the earlier it'll be. What substrate do you use in your Betta tank? I have black sand there. That is just sand. After some experimentation, I have tried gravel, I have tried sand, and I've also tried a porous gravel, such as the Carib Sea Eco Complete. And my favorite is the sand, because any detritus or debris, or fish poo, will sit on top of it rather than sinking into it, which makes it very easy to clean, because you can see exactly what you're going for, and you can get the tank much cleaner than you would be able to otherwise. And I have found, in my experience, that my bettas have been very sensitive to the slightest bit of debris in their tank. Like, they cough, and then they go, wow, my fins are melting. I don't know what it is, but I struggle to keep, it's not that I struggle to keep it clean. I do water changes every single week. I clean the tank weekly. I mean, right now, because we're managing his fins, more than that. They're not supposed to be this hard. But yeah, sand is the easiest to keep clean, next to no substrate anyways. Never behave. Butter flavored Crisco. What delicious sorcery is that? Half butter and half butter flavored Crisco. Use butter flavored Crisco in place of butter. So this crust is half Crisco. It's not butter flavored Crisco though. That sounds bewildering to me. I haven't even considered that. I just bought regular Crisco. But this crust was very good and much easier to make. And very flaky and delicious. And it is half butter. Actually, it's not even half and half. It's like 3/4 butter, 1/4 shortening. But it was enough to make it really come together. Cherry pie. Quick, hide the stuff. She's back. Was the pie lattice mathematically confusing? No, it just turns out that you gotta have a plan. You gotta start your lattice with a plan. You can't just YOLO pie lattice and expect it to be mathematically sound. You do all of your strips in one direction first, and then you fold them back in alternating patterns as you lay the strips in the other direction. It's more folding than I thought I would need. I thought I could just lay them all down without ever having to pick any back up, but apparently that's not true. But it did seal together very nicely. Yay. I wonder if I can run with one hand, especially on like a Mercius where there's like a lot of waiting going on. I bet I can run and eat because I am hungry and also this is delicious. Hopefully without eating ASMR streams. Granny Smith apples. The mount that drops out of here is the Corcron Annihilator. Oh, I thought I could loot him for a second. I could have sworn that I moused over him and my mouse lit up with the loot bag icon. Maybe not. Maybe I'm seeing things. Maybe I've been in Siege too long and we're only 9 runs in. Okay, the chest is going to spawn on this side, so I want to be on this side. I could be also healing these things, but like, where's the fun in that? Oh, Stellar Flare has a cast time. Oh, I see. Do you raid much? I am a member of a heroic raiding guild. We are fully cleared heroic Eternal Palace now. We did that 2 weeks ago, and we've re-cleared it once. And we are, I think, more or less on a casual hiatus. We don't farm very much. We used to farm more before Mythic Plus, but enough of our raiders are active enough in Mythic Plus now that we reach a point very quickly where people no longer need gear from a raid after we've cleared it, so we tend to take long breaks in between tiers in order to prevent our members from burning out. Okay, so we're heading up here. But yeah, I'm 8 of 8 heroic. I don't know how far I'm going. Perfect union of butter and lard. Vegetable shortening this one. I don't think lard would be chill with me. Do you do Siege off stream? Never. Nope. Imagine if after forcing you guys to watch me do like 2,000 hours of Siege, I just like ran it off stream and got them out. No way. You guys would disown me. You would never forgive me. You would be right to never forgive me. That would be rude. No, I don't touch this off stream. Which is why I've been doing so many more of these on stream lately. So I'm just gonna dot them all up evenly so that we can get everybody down evenly. Is there any kind of that you guys know of, a kill priority to these ads, or is it just get them all down as fast as you can? Rook's back, Hay's back. Sun is back, but I should not go too hard on her because Rook ran away again. Oh, there's Rook. Hay's behind now. Sun's almost down. Oh, oops. So I need to kill him. There we go. That's the stuff. Okay, off we go. Whatever happened to Brayburn apples? My grocery store never carries them anymore. I don't know if I remember Brayburn apples. I used to really like the Fuji apples. Used to be my apple of choice for just directly eating. I found them to be the right combination of crisp but also sweet. I like a fairly sweet apple. Anytime fruit's really sour, it just surprises me and I get upset. Love Granny Smith. Also love Macintosh apples. Yeah, sour apples for me are for baking only because the tartness bakes right out of them and it allows them to hold their shape a little bit better. I saw a really interesting infographic. I don't know what I was doing. I think I was researching pie science so that I could better understand the forces behind my pie successes and failures. Because that's usually a good place to start. Like, if you're ever really confused about why a thing is happening, if you can do a little bit more research into the underlying scientific principles behind whatever process it is that you're trying to manage, you can sometimes gain an understanding as to what it is you're doing wrong as opposed to just being like, wow, magic. And I was looking into pie science, and somebody had a really good article, and I don't remember where, but it was laying out the way that different apples bake. Somebody had done like some experiments. They had like laid out equally sized slices of different types of apples and baked them for a certain amount of time, and the acidity of an apple directly correlated with the tartness of it, and also directly correlated with how firm it remained after baking. So like a sweeter apple was much softer after baking and like basically fell apart and turned to mush, whereas the tart apples held their shape. I would think Granny Smith is like the tart one, so I think I would probably need to, in order to make it a little softer, step my apple acidity down a few ranks to a slightly different apple if I can find one. I'll have to look back at that chart. It was interesting, though. I always love a good study. I'm just eating ice cream. I should make sure I get some more pie in here. You need 2k more gold until you can get the Proudmoore Sea Scout. You're almost there. You get a good gold emissary done, you'll be in it. Now the Crusader run for the boots to match my Van Cleef set. Good luck. Worst apple, Golden Delicious. I don't know if I've tried Golden Delicious. I used to get Red Delicious when I first started grocery shopping because I was like, this is a very pretty apple. This apple looks very appealing, and it has a very appealing name. And I found that they were all skin and no substance. I did not care for them. They were kind of mealy. Salty apples? I don't know if I ever tried a salty apple. Although I have had some salty ice cream recently. There's a fancy ice cream place around Portland, and we got a salted caramel version of it that was like actually not just the caramel, but the entire ice cream was distinctly salty. Like, when you first have it, your impression is more saltiness than sweetness. And it sounds weird, and it sounds gross, and it was actually very good. I think we're almost done with it. I think we've had all of it. It's the ASMR part of the stream. I'll mute next time. I'll mute. I'll take a little mute break, and we can, I'll be preserved the... I don't need the internet to have a record of what I sound like eating pie. I don't know why Hazel does this to herself, eating delicious desserts on stream. We'll come up to her booth at BlizzCon, ask for some pie. My booth? My booth? Am I getting a booth? What would I do with a booth? I mean, a booth would be fun if you could sell boots, because then you could say, ah, come to my boot booth. Alright, let me... Hazel booth at BlizzCon confirmed. I don't think that's how it works. I don't think that's, I think companies get booths. I think streamers just wander around. Bye, Hazel. Wish you luck. See you later, Alfayette. Honeycrisp apples are super good. They're really sweet and taste amazing. Maybe that was it. Or maybe I was I feel like I remember Honeycrisp. The name rings a bell. I feel like I must have sought those out at some point. I like ice cream from cucumbers. I had it one time and it was delicious. I have never even heard of that. Where did you have that? Clip it, edited the chewing sounds later. Oh no. We can finally use that emote. You're gonna get to use it again pretty soon. It's tough to get your speaking mouth back after you've been eating. I think that's the real problem with eating on stream. It's not about, I mean, it's both, it's a little, it's not rude, but it's like a bit of a different show to, or a vibe to eat on stream. But also, you spend all the effort having a good talking mouth, for lack of a better word. You know, you warm up your mouth muscles and you have like the right tea and make sure you're hydrated so that you have the right setup for speaking. And then you go eat some pie and you ruin it all. I don't know. How is that? Do you guys think that I have a future as a mime streamer? Because I don't. I ran out of ways to express myself very quickly. It is probably the most accurate representation of me in my natural habitat is just eating and reading something on my monitors. Man, don't swallow before chewing at least 20 times each bite. I am actually very prone to eating issues, but it's just because I get distracted while I'm eating. I have like very limited amount of mental RAM, so like a butterfly flying by the window just knocks the important task of chewing and swallowing out of my head. And I end up eating incorrectly and choking on my food now and then. It's not so much choking on my food, it's just inhaling water. It's usually when I'm drinking, I will accidentally inhale instead of drinking like water or tea. And it sounds really bad. It sounds like I'm about to die, but I'm fine. I just got my lungs a little wet. It's no big deal. Happens. Can I have coconut ice cream? That was delicious. That sounds really good. Ice cream for breakfast, adulting hard. Yeah, there was also pie. Also, that wasn't really breakfast. It was kind of like a pre-lunch dessert because I did have breakfast this morning. I had my toast and my toast and egg this morning. I was just still hungry. To be fair, I skipped pie last night. I was going to have pie last night for dessert, but then time passed and then it was bedtime. Yeah, it was too late. I ran out of time. I don't remember what I was doing. I think I was just leveling. I think I was just sitting at my desk leveling, and then I looked up and it was 10. I was like, oh, I gotta get ready for bed. Soybean ice cream was good. See, that's what I was saying. I was saying that you, like, we were joking around last night trying to come up with flavors of ice cream that would never be good, because in Portland it's kind of a meme that they'll take anything and stick it in dessert. You go to, like, one of the fancy donut places or ice cream places, and they have some very out there flavors. So we were trying to come up with a goofy flavor for an ice cream that wouldn't work, and husband says soy sauce ice cream, and I'm like, that's not that far off. You know, it's like salty. We've established that salty ice cream can be good. I think I've had like a sweet red bean paste ice cream before. I love a nice sweet red bean dessert. And he's allergic to beans, so he likes to joke that they're all awful because he can't eat them anyways. But I feel like a soy sauce ice cream would not be beyond the realm of thinkability. I think it would be it could be something. Someone probably makes it. It's probably a thing. We didn't invent this. My mom made a cake for me. Oh. Those inhaling and drinking muscles can be quite tricky to master. It's just when you're, like, distracted. Or, like, laughing. Salmon ice cream. Oh, you might have it. You might have it. Fish and ice cream. Although, I have seen fish served with cream-based side condiments / sauces / dishes. So it's not that out of the blue. Also, I've seen fish served with a sweet glaze. I've seen like a honey salmon glaze. So how different would it really be to have like salmon and ice cream next to each other? Wasabi ice cream is good. Gunpowder ice cream. I mean, if we're gonna like leave behind all semblance of food stuffs, then sure. I now want soy sauce ice cream with some sushi sides. You're gonna make me want sushi for dinner. I think I have time to make it today. I have everything that I need. I love making sushi. It takes me so long. It's not supposed to. It's not supposed to be a very time-consuming thing. It's like sandwiches, but with rice and nori. But, like, it takes me forever because I take too long to slice everything, and, like, the rice has to cool and drain and whatever. But it's really fun to do because I put on my headphones, and I get some music going, and I always have to make a pot of tea. I always, whenever I'm serving sushi, I will make a pot of jasmine green tea. And it's just really fun because I have all this stuff. Like, I have my mat for rolling up my sushi, and I bought us, we have reusable wooden painted chopsticks that are really pretty that I pull out for it, and I have special teacups that I serve our green tea in with our sushi, and I like, both of us, that's like a favorite date of ours. We don't go out much because of the dog, but if we are going out to eat, we really like to go out and eat sushi together, and I can kind of, sort of, I mean, the sushi's not as good because it's just sushi I made, it's fine, but it's not amazing, but, you know, it can be kind of like a little sushi restaurant set up at home. French onion ice cream. That does sound gross. That does sound unequivocally disgusting. Seared salmon with ice cream might work. Human flesh ice cream. Okay, I regret saying that. Glass ice cream. I mean, you get into meat. I know someone's probably down with bacon because people around here put bacon in whatever. But you start putting weird meat in ice cream and you lose me real quick. I mean, you lost me with meat anyways, but is that a different Betta? I haven't been around for a while. I miss my Betta. It is. It is. Our original blue and red Betta, Fletta, passed on into the great rice paddy of the sky. So this is Chen. Is he on screen right now? He is not. I'll see if I can catch him next time he swims by. That would be Chen. He is black and white. I call him a panda Betta, despite the fact that that's not a thing. Verisa, I leave you alone for 1 minute. Goodness gracious. Kleenex ice cream. I still think sushi is just a fad. I remember vividly my first exposure to sushi. I was in elementary school. There was in our elementary school, there was a feature outside. It was basically, we called it the mound, which is a little weird now that I think of it, but we called it the mound. It was basically like a large rocky hill, but it was covered in trees. It was like a tiny mini forest in the middle of the school grounds that the kids could play in and have like forts and do whatever. So that was fun. I also remember having dirt in Ziploc bags with water and carrying around Ziploc bags of mud because I was a very cool child. But I was on the other side of the mound. Was that really what we called it? Good grief. And on that side of the mound, there was the field. So I was sitting on the side of the field and some girl came up and she was wearing, the style at the time was plaid skirts. It was very Britney Spears, despite the fact that we were all like 9. She had on this plaid skirt. I think her name was Jessica. And Jessica's dad had more money than most of us. We weren't a poor school, but we weren't like a fancy people place. And at that time, sushi, at least in my 8-year-old mind, was a fancy people thing. So her dad had dropped off some sushi for her. And she was, she brought it around to show us. And everybody was like, ew, gross, fish. And for whatever reason, I got to try some, which is strange. This memory must not be true or accurate. I think I'm probably combining a few memories because I was not really friends with Jessica. She was much cooler than I was. I carried around Ziploc bags of mud. But I remember at some point I tried some. Somebody had some and shared it with me. And I like gulped it down because it was a scary thing because we all thought it was really gross. And then it was like fine. And then later on when I was a teenager and I was trying to look cool, I was like, oh yeah, I like sushi. And then I tried it and I was like, oh, I actually do like sushi. But I remember the first time it was like everybody was like daring each other to eat it like it was some crazy weird thing. Did you see that French's mustard ice cream? I really didn't. I missed that, and thankfully, really, I don't think that sounds like something I want in my life. They must get scared of the ocean then. I shall maybe stop. Someone called Jessica, see if she used to share sushi with the girl that carried around bags of mud. Oh, man. Maybe it was Jessica, because I feel like I was in dance class with her later. Maybe not. They wouldn't let me bring the bags of mud into the dance class. Those were different environments. French's custard. Weird. Actually, I need some new dessert ideas because I have in my cupboard, and I know this because I recently reorganized my cupboards, I have a canister of Bird's custard powder, and I'm trying to remember what on earth dessert did I make that needed me to make powdered custard. Because I enjoy custard. It's a delightful dessert that we don't get a whole lot of here in America. It's not a very popular thing to have. And I can't remember. Maybe it was like a layered thing. Was I making like a trifle? I made something. I didn't use it in tiramisu. It wasn't for the tiramisu. I make a handmade custard for that. Pavlova? It wasn't for that. I haven't tried that yet. Oh, wait, we're in the door. Afternoon, Sip Keyboard. How you doing? Oh, man. Hey, Hazel. What's up, Galradan? There was a cake with the custard in between. Was that it? What was it called? Why did I do it? How did it happen? Because I have the can. Anyways, I'm looking for a new idea. I guess I could make pavlova with it, even though I haven't done it in the past. I'm kind of tempted to try and make a nice trifle. I don't know why. I don't have a trifle dish, so that would really put a lid in it pretty quick. And I don't want to own a trifle dish because that's really something that you own if you entertain and you can like serve your trifle to people. And I would do that once and then go, wow, now I have to find somewhere to put this trifle dish for my once-a-year trifle serving. So maybe not that. It's great. It's one of my faves. Something out of the WoW cookbook? Yellow cake, custard, chocolate icing? I don't think the WoW cookbook would have asked me to use custard powder. Oh, did we get him? Did we get him? One more. 2 shots. There we go. I used it for something, otherwise I wouldn't have bought it, but I don't remember what it was. Use a mixing bowl? I guess so, yeah. I guess I could serve it in a big mixing bowl. I do have those, like, large Pyrex bowls. They're kind of flat, but sure. Truffle ice cream. Now that sounds good. I mean, depending on if we're talking about chocolate truffles or... You know, I don't know if I've ever had the other kind of truffle. Like, I'm aware that there is a food item called a truffle that, you know, pigs dig them up in forests or something. It's related to a mushroom. And those are expensive and they're like a delicacy and they're supposed to be really good. But I don't know what they're like at all. Because my only frame of reference for them is chocolate truffles, which are a completely different thing, I'm pretty sure. And the only reason I know about the pig ones is because that's what you get in Stardew Valley when you have a bunch of pigs. I am going to remember before... I guess I don't need to remember until after I am done with Dark Shamans to get on my vendor mount and vendor away all of this stuff in my bags. Expensive is an understatement? Why? How expensive are they? If I was to look online right now to find out when I would buy truffles online, because the real thing in... Well, actually, no, the real thing in Stardew was to just get the truffles and sell them directly, because if you had the right profession, you would get them automatically iridium quality, and they would sell... It was just faster and easier and more profitable to just sell them directly as opposed to making them into truffle oil, because truffle oil did not benefit from the artisan good profession. Truffles and mushrooms for sale. Gourmet food store. Fresh black summer truffles from Italy. Hang on, let me say that again. Fresh black summer truffles from Italy. In season May to August. Mild and subtle black summer truffles. Help you create a beautiful truffle recipe at a great price. So supposedly these are like the budget truffles. It is $60. 2 ounces of them. You get 2 to 3 pieces. And those are like the cheapo ones. Okay. Let's see. Truffles by origin season. Let's take a look at French truffles. So, fresh black winter Périgord truffles from France. Oh, they're out of stock. Oh, no. Okay. Why are all these truffles out of stock? Oh, there we go. French black winter truffles. Extra. Get a taste of truffles during the off-season with these mild winter black truffles. You get 7 ounces of them. 7 ounces. I'm stuttering today. You get 7 ounces of them and you pay $544.25. Goodness, those are pricey. Nadia, thank you very much for the resub. Appreciate that. $100 an ounce? Oh man, so that $60 for 2 ounces of them, that's a pretty good deal. Those are some budget truffles. Do you think they're just gross? Do you think they're just like awful? It can kind of be like that with pu'er tea. Proper aged shung pu'er tea, so like not the cheaty stuff, but like the actual good stuff. You can buy it cheap, and the cheap stuff is really gross. But you don't really get the experience until you get like the properly aged stuff, and that is very expensive. So maybe it's a similar kind of situation. Maybe you can buy cheap ones, and they're just not good. Okay, how are we doing? I feel a little out of breath, and I haven't even been on a big talking tear, so let's see if we can just chill for a sec. Buy some and cook them on stream. Oh boy. I don't know if the hazelnutty baking streams are really ready for that kind of a budget. Especially because I don't have the balls to write off my baking stream expenses on taxes. I know I could because it's part of my business, but I don't want to have, if I get audited by the IRS, I don't want to have to explain to some accountant why I needed to buy $60 truffles for my gaming YouTube channel. That's not a conversation that I want to have. Oh, man. A dish with those I would be afraid to cook. Imagine spoiling it. You're a Twitch partner, buy the truffles, cook them on stream, and just bill Twitch for it. Oh, is that how it works? Man, I should, I've got some receipts for them then. Okay, this is where we go underground, so I'm going to clean up here, and then I'm going to vendor stuff before I go under. I should probably take out these guys, huh? Educational purposes. Patrons vote on it. Someone donate. They don't even look good. They look weird. They look like a sponge that you would clean something strange and niche with. X King Reaper X, thank you very much for the sub. Welcome to the Squirrel Squad. That's really fun to do. Tally with the host. Why, thank you. Appreciate that, guys. Welcome to Siege of Orgrimmar. I hope this is where you intended to end up, because we're here. We're doing it. I'm working for the Corcoran Juggernaut. How's your morning been? Or morning, I guess evening for any of you EU folk. What do you guys get up to today? I'm not cheating on Tally with Hazel, I swear. Oh man, they look like something a pig dug out of the ground. I mean, accurate. Accurate, very fair. Oh man, does anybody have both the Tally and the Hazel emotes so we can stick some, can we stick some void tentacles on them? I would enjoy that. I would enjoy that. I think my Prime sub's up. I should give it to them. Good music. I played WoW for 5 hours straight, then ate cereal for dinner. It sounds like you're living life. There you go. That's what we needed. That's what we needed with the evil hearts. There you go. That's what I needed today. There's the emote combo. Speaking of putting void stuff on them, it's not really a void thing. Actually, I should probably DM them about that. I'm on holiday for work, so I get to eat cereal for dinner. What's the preferred dinner cereal, though? Like, if you're doing cereal for dinner, are you going to go in with, like, something hearty? Are you going to prepare some whole oats and then just, like, christen them with a dash of blueberries? Or are you going to, like, grab your Cinnamon Toast Crunch Applejack Supreme Honey Nut Oats Yos and have some of those instead? Also important to establish, are you a cereal before the milk person or a milk before the cereal? Cinnamon Toast Crunch all day. I don't think I can really do box cereals. I think I've given up on them. Part of it is that I have this giant container of whole oats. We bought it at Costco, I think 3 or 4 years ago, because I don't know why we bought it. I have so many oats. I don't even like oats, but they're, it's a whole grain, so yada yada, live longer, be smart, something, I don't know. I'll eat anything if I think it's going to make me better at my job. And it's hard for me to justify, like, also cold cereal is cold. Like, and it's first thing in the morning. Maybe if you live somewhere warm and you want, like, a refreshing cold bowl of cereal, but usually, it's first thing in the morning, you're cold. You just woke up, your heat system is dormant, you got to preheat yourself with, like, some hot food there. Cereal before milk. I'm not a savage. Good to hear it. I am a cereal taster for a living. I actually believe that. Despite all of the things that you specifically say, I could buy that. I'd see it. Soy peach yogurt, plus cereals all day, every day. Ah, you're a yogurt and cereal person. My mom was all about the Greek yogurt. I don't know if she's still about this because I think she's vegan now, but she was all about the Greek yogurt with, like, some crunchy granola and some fresh fruit and some, like, I don't know, flax powder or something. And I tried it and it just felt too healthy. I'm the worst because I want to eat healthy. Just not really to try and be a healthy person, but just because, you want to eat the things that make you effective. My body is here for me to be alive in, and I should give it things that make it more alive, right? So I want to eat healthy for that reason, but I'm also just like, whenever something is, like, too much and there's just, like, no joy left in it at all, I'm just like, for me, Greek yogurt and granola, there is no joy in that. It like gets stuck in your gums. It's cold. You know, Greek yogurt is just like, you know, I don't know. It's, you want it to be like a pudding, and then it's not, and also it's a little too firm. Can't deal. Cannot deal. Johnny Sweatpants, welcome to the Squirrel Squad. Thank you very much for the sub. Appreciate it. Cereal in my house is not a breakfast food, but a snack food. Mostly because it's really unhealthy. I only eat it very rarely. As a young person, actually, and in high school, I remember I used to get made fun of for this, lovingly by my friends. I would bring Cheerios to school as a teenager in those same little Ziploc bags that many years earlier I carried around mud in. I liked my snacking Cheerios. I did not care for them with... I'm not, like, again, once you add cold milk to cereal, I understand that's how it's meant to be had. I've had plenty of it in my life. It's just too cold. Mornings are dark, at least, you know, in Canada when you're getting up to go to school. It's like pitch blackout. Half the year anyways, depending on where you live, I suppose. But it's like pitch blackout. You're cold. You're already up like 4 hours before your body wants you to get up. You don't want to have like something like cold, you know? I don't know. I love Greek yogurt. My mom loves Greek yogurt and cereal. I'm sure there must be some massive appeal to it because it is very popular. Oh, I'm not pizzaing correctly. It's very popular. There's got to be some appeal. I just don't understand the appeal. I haven't had it in a few years, so maybe I should try again. It's just like vaguely sour and too thick, which is funny because I really like sour cream. Or at least the stuff that we get here. I didn't enjoy sour cream until I moved to America. They have, I don't know if it's just like fattier here or what, but it's good. Why are you so racist against cold? I've been cold enough in my life. I don't care for being chilly. I've lived in the cold long enough. I hope you washed the bags first. Oh, yeah. The mud bags before I filled them up with Cheerios. Yeah, I guess carrying around with mud isn't the right answer. I think what we were doing with the dirt and the bags and the water, I think we were pretending to be witches in a forest, like making potions. I remember specifically scouring the forest for things that seemed like likely potion ingredients, mostly because I very much wanted Harry Potter to be real and was just trying to make some potions happen. So I would look for like berries and likely looking leaves and mix them together with water and some amount of dirt because it would end up in there. And then I would never eat it, I don't think. I tried not to eat overly much dirt, but I would definitely try to make potions. And the only thing I had handy was the Ziploc bags. So you got to use what you got. I used to suffer from chronic cold feet, but now my feet are warm. Come to Arizona, you will beg for cold? I think that's too far. I like it right where I am. Oregon, perfect. Well, gets a little hot in the summer, but mostly perfect. Can't stand anything sweet in the morning. I eat cereal for dessert. Oh, I can get on board with like a nice, I mean, I just had a bowl of apple pie and ice cream, like 20 minutes ago, so I can't talk, but I can get on board with like a nice pastry, like a strudel with a little cream cheese filling, or like maybe a bear claw, but I expect too much from bear claws whenever I get them. They look really good, and then I have them, and I'm like, well, that was fine. You know, that was all right. It was something. It existed, but I always want it to be a strudel. It's all about the cream cheese filling. California is perfect. Wait, I take that back. I'm sure there are some places of it that are lovely and wonderful. It's generally speaking a pretty nice climate. It's just, especially South Cal. Like the only places I've ever been are Irvine and Anaheim, so like Orange County-ish. That's the only places I've ever visited. And it's too nice there. Like, you know, you ever read A Wrinkle in Time and the kids go to visit the city with all the people bouncing balls in time and it's like too perfect? That's what I feel about the weather in South Cal, in like Orange County. It's like too nice. You know, it's just like not, I mean, when I went anyways, it was not too hot, it was not too cold, and it was like, I don't trust it. Where are the seasons? I require variety. I need it to rain once in a while, you know? I need a storm. I need some hail. I need some thunder. I need a little snow. I'm very needy. I'm a very needy weather wanter, I suppose one could say. I still have all these truffles up on my other monitor. Please tell me you did not get frog livers and or bird kidneys for your potions. No, I wasn't the kind to like dissect anything that big. Come to the Netherlands. Once it gets hot, you will beg for something cold and then you get it the next day. Bay Area is perfect. Northern CA where I live. Can't say I've ever visited there. That sounds like it might be nice. But I'm just very attached to the Pacific Northwest. I mean, I'm always going to miss BC. I would love to go back and live there one day when I'm rich enough to do so. But I'm very attached to the Pacific Northwest. I love the forest. I love the rainforest we have here. I enjoy hiking. I don't get out to do it much, but I just like having it around. I like being able to look around and see large old trees that I'm familiar with, and just the kind of brush and animals and birds that I grew up around. I don't know if it's like a home thing or what, but whenever I get too far from home, I'm like, well, this place is nice, but it's weird and I don't belong here. Boring weather. Witches control the weather and the climate in South Cal. It does feel, you know what it feels like, now that you mention that? It feels like somebody made a deal with a demon for that weather, and whatever they gave up, it wasn't worth it. But everybody benefits from the weather, but whatever they gave up, it wasn't worth it. That's how I feel about it. It's just, it doesn't feel right. Something's not quite right. It's nice. It's a lovely place to visit for a few days. I enjoyed BlizzCon greatly last year. I think it's going to be great again this year, especially because it's a magical place where people are just nice to me. I think just because everybody's fairly friendly at BlizzCon, I'm sure there's exceptions, but generally speaking, you're already on common ground with people because you have a lot in common relative to how much you have in common with other random people on the street. So it's always fun in that respect. I am from South Cal. What is weather? Weather is the thing that gives you fun decision making whenever you get dressed in the morning. You get to look at your phone or your watch or, you know, the weather channel or your window and decide based on the forecast what it is you want to wear. Today it's going to be chillier this morning, which is how I can get away with a long sleeve shirt and jeans, and I'm probably going to change around 1 p.m. because it's going to be quite warm today. It looks like we're going to get to about, like, it's 74 right now-ish. And hang on, I should not do this while I'm trying to do spoils. It's going to get up to about 86 around here. I grew up in LA. There are seasons, they're just subtle. San Diego is annoying. It's always 70s there. Yeah, I mean, I like a nice warm summer, although I don't really get outside much when it's very sunny. I am a bit of a, what's the word? I hide from the sun, not because I'm not up during the day. I'm very much diurnal. I am asleep at night. I go to bed at like 10. But I don't like being in the sun, mostly because I have thoroughly spooked myself about the dangers of UV and radiation. And I very much prefer to have all of my surfaces covered in sunscreen with at least SPF like 20 or 30 before I go anywhere with sun. So it's easier just to stay inside. Especially if there's like a really high UV index, I'd rather just like have a hat, you know, nice cover layer, stay inside, preserve the skin. Skin cancer aside, if it helps me stay young longer, then there's no harm in that. Think of a demon pact like a business contact or a contract with a lawyer. Oh man, I've never had a lawyer before. Think I'll eventually have to get one. I guess it depends on how big my business gets, or whether or not I attract bad attention from anybody, should determine whether or not I ever need to have legal representation. Maybe not one like on retainer, but you know, somebody that you call if you have a problem. Yeah, I don't know any lawyers aside from soon to be dweeb daddy. In Texas, we wear the least amount of clothing possible. Texas is so hot. Oh, 86 Celsius. Oh, sorry, 86 Fahrenheit, which in Celsius would be, let me see. High 20s. High 20s. Almost 30. Is that right? Yeah, almost 30. I think you don't get into 30 until like 90. Maybe I'm confused. I might be confused. Okay. I need to make sure that I do this in enough time. We are getting a little better at this. I haven't failed this in the last like 2 or 3, I think. Eventually we'll have it down to like a nice smooth, okay, a nice smooth. So, have I done this side already? Yeah, that's done. So I can hop out over here and go to the last side. It's too hot for August. August has always been like the hottest month though, right? You know, by the time it's September, it's starting to get back to, by the time it's September, we're starting to get back to, oh, have I not done, where am I going? This one looks empty, so it must be this side. This side has lots of large crates left, so this must be it. At least I have time. We've got 168 seconds, so we should be fine. Yeah, August I always thought of as like the hottest month. Like July and August are obviously summer. Those are like the typical school summer months. June is warming up, but not really hot. And then heat always kind of lags behind a bit. So you're going to get higher temperatures in late summer than in early summer. I always imagine it's because the earth has just heated itself up and then has residual heat it's still offloading. I don't think that's actually how it works, but maybe. I don't know. I'm not a climate scientist. But, yeah, I expect it to be pretty hot in August. It's going to be September soon, though. We are like, what, a week and a half away from September? That's going to be frightening. We're only like 73, 74 days away from BlizzCon, something like that. I'm about ready to start planning out my packing spreadsheets. I'm about ready to start categorizing the things that I need and things that I don't need. Oh, my stabilizer arrives today. I've been really hoping to make a better BlizzCon video than last year. Last year's BlizzCon video was fine. I think it accurately portrayed my first year there. But now that I've got my hands around the ropes, I really want to do a better video or pair of videos this year. So I'm trying to really figure out my filming equipment. And one of the things that I needed, and I spent a bunch of time testing for this yesterday, is a stabilizer. Because I'm just, you know, noodle arms, right? Like I'm flumbly. I cannot hold a camera steady to save my life, and I'm gonna need to. So I figured out which camera I wanted to use, and I looked at some different options, and I ordered myself a little gimbal that should arrive today. So I'm gonna have to learn how to balance this thing on a gimbal. I'm gonna use this camera because this one's like nice and travel size. I don't want to travel with like a huge one. Okay, let's go do Thok. But I'm looking forward to learning how to use that because one, it's going to be annoying. I think it's a skill set that I'm going to have to pick up, so I'm going to have to mess with it today. But secondly, it's a good opportunity for me to just film all sorts of extraneous, unnecessary footage of my cat and my fish. I plan to get a lot of it. You're freaking the Celsius users out, Hazel? For me, it's normal for it to be 100 plus in August. Birthday was 2 days ago. Happy birthday in the past. I think you stopped by. It's gonna be a Sunday. So, hang on, where are we right now? We're like I guess a little less than a month. We're a little under a month away from mine. It's too early to be getting excited just yet. It is on a Sunday, so I'm gonna be doing a birthday stream just because I stream on Sundays. And I am going to be 27. Which I think I have accepted because in my head I'm already 27. I don't think it's that different from 26. I don't have to start getting stressed out until 30. And even then, I don't have to get stressed out. I just need to be, I think, confident in my career path. That's the big thing that gives me anxiety related to turning 30. It's not that I'm afraid of being 30. It's that I'm afraid of being 30, but still doing the same thing that I was trying to do at 22 without having changed it all. I just want to make sure that whatever I'm doing online, it's fine for me to have an unorthodox job. It's fine for me to be successful or not successful. I just need to make sure that I feel like it's matured with me to the point that I can be proud of what I do. Hazel 31 confirmed. Not for a little bit, no. Mine is September 8th. That is my birthday. We're going to be birthday buddies. Mine was a Sunday too. Automod have something in spreadsheets. OMG, yes, the packing spreadsheets from last year's trip. I don't know what Automod caught about that. What did it say? S space trip. I wonder why. Weird. Okay. We've done Thok. We need to go do Siege Crafter, and then we got to get through Paragons, and we're actually, I mean, we're a little late because it's already 12:04, but that's fine. I'm going to be 43. Congratulations. That's fun. That's fun. We don't age shame around here. Not that that's an age you would get age shame for anyways, but we're all nerds. Turned 27 in June. I stopped keeping track at 25. I feel like 25, as far as just like the age that you would want to be physically, is kind of peak age, at least for women. I feel like men probably peak like a little bit later. I feel like I'm probably as strong and healthy as I'm ever going to be now. And I'm a little stressed out that I don't have bigger plans for that. Like, I'm trying to preserve my body so I don't fall apart once I'm 41. But aside from that, you know, shouldn't I be like climbing rock faces or saving children from buildings or something? Is there something else? I feel like I'm not taking full advantage of being prime age. I don't know. I'm just playing WoW and making YouTube videos. And it's fine. I could be doing worse. I turned 27 in May. I can feel myself deteriorating. Send help. Oh dear. 33 doesn't feel different than 27. Are you proud or feel accomplished with what you've achieved regarding streaming and YouTube? That's a really good question. I am not ashamed of what I've done. I'm not ashamed of what I do presently, but I firmly believe that I am capable of a lot better and a lot... Excuse you. I believe that I'm capable of a lot better and a lot more. And I'm just trying to be kind to myself while I work out what it's going to take for me to get to the level of output that I believe I'm capable of. So I don't think I'm proud of myself yet, but I'm also not ashamed of myself. I think I'm doing fine, but I know I can do better. Tesmok, thank you for the bits. Turning 25 in a month and have had big trouble with my back the last year. So much for that peak. Oh dear. Happy B-Dag and Advance Hazel. Thank you. I'll be around. But appreciate the bits. Backs are important. Backs fall apart. Backs are treacherous, fickle friends, from what I hear. I was thinking of trying to start stretching more regularly just because I used to be in dance, so I was flexible just because of that. And I'm well aware that these days I am not bendy anymore in any way. And I think it's a good thing just for the sake of your own limberness to be, I don't know, well stretched. So I was trying to solve two problems at once. I was trying to solve the afternoon sleepiness problem and the overwhelming stiffness problem by adding in a yoga session or something, like a midday 10 to 20 minutes of following like a YouTube yoga tutorial. And by midday, I mean like 2:33. And I did that yesterday, and it did help. I felt stretched, I felt relaxed, I felt awake. But my problem is I need some stretching / yoga tutorials that cut all of the emotionally related instructions out of it. I understand that they're there for a purpose. So like the things I'm talking about, I'm like watching this tutorial and she's telling me how to stretch, and she's also telling me to connect with my gratitude and give thanks for my body and smile. And that is great. You know, I'm sure that helps people. I'm sure people listen to that and then connect with something they needed to connect with. It makes me furious. Don't tell me to smile. Absolutely not. I cannot handle someone telling me how to feel. So I will connect with my gratitude and give thanks for whatever on my own time when I decide. Otherwise, you're just preaching at me, and apparently I don't appreciate it. So I need to find some tutorials that don't infuriate me because I just get enraged. Specifically when someone tells me to smile. If I am not doing it in order to warm up facial muscles for enunciation, I will not. Nope. Nope. I turned 42 last March. I think I'll cry. Don't cry. Don't cry. Everybody is the right age for what they are. And as somebody that is older than I am, you also possess more experience. You possess more wisdom. And I'm looking forward to being 42 and 52 and 62 because hopefully, like right now at 26, I feel like I have learned a lot since being 16. I think over the last 10 years of my life, those are like your formative young adult years, generally speaking. I'm sure I still have more of them, but 16 to 26, very formative young adult years. And at 16, I thought I knew everything because that's what 16-year-olds do. And I have learned a lot, even just this last year, this last 6 months, I have learned a lot about myself and who I want to be and the kind of standards and philosophies and values that I want to hold. And I'm very much looking forward to seeing what kind of person I can evolve into over the next 10, 20, 30 years. I think that's really exciting. Second the haze. No, we're not doing a yoga stream. The best time to stretch is when you get out of bed and you're good for the rest of the day. Hazel starts rapping in her birthday stream. That would be something. That's something nobody needs. Balance keeps good up. Sorry, let me speak. Speech atrophies too. Balance is something good to keep up on too. It's amazing how quickly your balance atrophies. I never even thought of that. How do you maintain your balance aside from like one of those terrifying platforms with like the bubble underneath that you balance on? Those scare me. That's a soup level rant. Yeah, don't tell me to have a good day. I mean, I guess I'm guilty of that because I often tell people that, well, I wish people a good day. If you don't want to have a good day, you go have whatever day you're going to have. I respect your right to have as angry of a day as you feel like you need. Like, not every day's going to be a good day. Not, you know, not everything's going to be wonderful. Sometimes you're going to be very upset. Sometimes you're going to be in grief. Sometimes you're going to be very frustrated, and that's all valid, and you can't just skip over those parts of life. So I hope I'm never trying to make it seem like you should. But yeah, no, people telling me to smile. It's not your age, it's your current level. I remember the excitement of my home and life in general. Now I'm 42, I'm tired of it. My son's more messy at 16 than all my 3 kids were, and they were that small. Look up Man Flow Yoga. Focuses on the mechanics of flexibility rather than the mental stuff. I should try that. That sounds up my alley. I'm not against spirituality, and I do think that it connects very well with yoga. I just want to do it on my own, by myself. It's like that relationship is between you and yourself, or between you and whatever force you are connecting with. I don't think that some lady or dude or anybody on YouTube is really going to help guide me. But that's just me, you know. Maybe I'm sure she's guiding somebody and it probably works great for them. I respect her right to do it. She's not doing it wrong. I'm the weird one because I don't want any of it. Okay. One at a time. Oh, I said one at a time and then I pressed Sunfire. Oops, a daisy do. It's okay. They won't kill them fast enough. They'll block or bubble or blood or something. We get the 3rd one down. And then I can finish off one of these guys so that we can get the 4th one down. Stop moving. Yikes. And down comes another one. This should be... We're about ready for the manipulator. Maybe 1 or 2 more. No, not quite yet. I will not press another Sunfire because that's not what we're looking for. Am I stunned? Where is manipulator? No, that's not in. You can't make me wipe to this. It's happened before and it won't happen again. Oh, I have my boss frames right here. I can see exactly how many dudes are left. Oh, I don't know why I was just guessing before. There's manipulator. Get out of here, bro. Go home. I want to live long enough to be alive in 2100 just so I can tell the generation that their century sucks before I go. What kind of snacks do you think they're going to have in 2100? I'm excited. I'm excited and terrified to see how technology is going to progress. I think there's going to be some really cool stuff and some stuff I would really rather not see in that time. But either way, it's going to be interesting. And if we do bring on like the robot AI apocalypse, or, you know, we melt the planet or whatever, at least I'm hopefully going to get to live a good chunk of my life before then. So I feel like I'm in a decent century to be alive in. We'll see. I might regret that statement in 15 years if we really do melt a planet, but we'll see. Okay, and then just one more at a time. This guy. And then Corvin. I do hot yoga, 86 degrees Celsius hot. Hot yoga, I feel like, would be dangerous for me. I think I would try it and I would just immediately faint. I felt like I knew everything at 24. A lot more growing occurred after that. I would imagine that I have some large life experiences still ahead of me because nothing that tragic or awful, or not even tragic or awful, even just like life-changing has happened to me yet. So I would assume there's going to be some large events in my life, because everybody has some, that I can't foresee yet, but will change the way I view things, because that seems to happen to most people. Look up tree pose. Anything like that that has you balancing on one leg. Have a good day is more like a hope for the person, not telling them what to do. That's how I intend it. Yeah, it's just like it's like a nice wish. I'm certainly never trying to tell anybody what to do. I don't like being told what to do, and I don't, unless I asked, you know. Advice is different. If somebody requests advice, I'll tell you what to do all day long, and I often ask for advice, and that's usually when I want to be told, but unless you're actually requesting it, I don't know. You just do you. I mean, you were gonna anyways, so. As long as we don't get along. What do you do to relax? I'm still trying to figure that out, honestly. I'm still trying to develop relaxing habits or activities that actually relax me, because for a long time I was doing things that I thought were relaxing that were just creating more anxiety for me. I think what I've been doing lately is I have been working on my plants and my fish, like maintaining my aquariums and watering plants and checking on all of them. That has been, I think, how I've been relaxing lately, because it's nice and offline. I like doing it while listening to music. And it kind of gets me out of my head without filling my head with things that concern me, usually. So spending time with the plants and fish have been good. The other thing that I really like doing, and I don't know if this is really relaxing or just fun, but I put on my headphones, these ones, and I turn up some music and I cook dinner. And that's really fun because it's like my space and I have all my tools and I have a job to do, but I know how to do it. And I have just like the tunes, and it's great. I love listening to music while I'm cooking. Hey, Hazel, got back from a trip visiting my parents in Germany today. Been looking forward to watching your streams again. What's up, how are you? Hope you've been amazing. I've been pretty good. I cleaned my oven this morning. That was a trip. Also, we are about to get our attempt, I think number 10. I think this is going to be an even 10 on Garrosh. Fish ice cream. Mechagon cooking gives us a nice insight in snacks. Give me some mecha bites. I love cake. Favorite is caramel cake. That sounds good. Have you thought about breaking boss guides down to role-specific videos? As a healer, I don't need to know anything. Not really. Mostly just because I try, and maybe I'll try a little harder next time, to categorize the sections of the video by role. I'll have to make sure I do that thoroughly next time. But I think it would be, because they're already so short, I think it would be more time than I'm willing to invest to do an additional 3 videos per fight. Especially because I do think there's some value in watching what the other roles are doing, so you can be aware of the kind of behavior that they're going to be planning. I would love to go to a restaurant with technology-themed food called Mecha Bites. I feel like you would just end up with a lot of artificially flavored stuff that's like, man, you could eat all of these things and they're all a round, white, smooth cake, but this one tastes like caramel, and this one tastes like popcorn, and this one tastes like roast beef, and that's like a concept, I guess. It's a thing. Tourists will go to it, but I don't want to eat there. That's weird. I've been crocheting octopuses for for NICU babies. That's adorable. I'm pretty new to WoW and wonder what range class would you go for as a starter? Have a 120 Hunter, but we'll start a new one eventually. So I would definitely say that Hunter is the starter range class. Outside of that, I would pick like a... Outside of Hunter, I would probably pick a... maybe a Balanced Druid. Balanced Druid or a Warlock. Warlock gives you more options because you have more damage specs available to you. Mage, I feel like, is fine, but you have to be willing to put in the time to learn how the different specs work. I've always found mage specs to take a little bit of thonking to figure out. I thought binge watching my favorite shows was relaxing, but I get emotionally involved with my shows, so sometimes it's not relaxing. It's a hobby. It just might not always be a relaxing one. I do like, especially if I'm really into a K-drama, I do like sitting down with like a glass of wine in an episode, and that's nice. Although I guess I do get like you. Sometimes I'm very invested. Or sometimes the show ends and the ending is weak and it's stupid and I wish they'd actually had some teeth in it and, you know, make something that's some good TV and not just like give up and phone it in. I don't know. Who's your favorite music artist or what's your favorite song? I am a shameless K-pop obsessive. I don't follow a lot of the culture, but I listen almost exclusively to K-pop. I do tend towards boy groups unless it's Mamamoo. I listen to Mamamoo plus boy groups. And I prefer... Favorite songs? NCT stuff. Also, The Rose lately. Woosung's latest album and The Rose have had some really fun stuff. Their newest single's pretty good. Do you ever look up Trey Lesh cake? I think I did, and I think I already forgot. I feel like I remember looking it up, and then I forgot what it was. Ah, shucks. Not an attempt number 10. Sorry, Shovel Mage. Today is not the day. Sounds very Willy Wonka. When does Classic launch? Next Monday, I think. Yeah, next Monday. A week yesterday. Something like that. Hidden Hazel rant against Game of Thrones ending? Nah. Nah, the Game of Thrones ending had some different factors going into it. I'm not that mad at it. It's not the best thing it could have been, but it was the best thing given all of the circumstances and factors. I'm sure it's fine. I've been ruined by a few recent K-drama endings. The one I watched most recently was fine. The ending didn't ruin the whole show or anything. It was just kind of weak. It didn't really have anything. They just kind of like gave you all the answers that they thought people wanted to hear and were like, okay, there was nothing interesting about it. But I watched this K-drama, this Netflix original K-drama called Black, and it was very interesting. It had the supernatural element. They built up all these mysteries. And it had the stupidest ending I'd ever seen on TV. I didn't watch Lost, but it was what I imagined watching Lost would have been like. They clearly did not have any answers to their mysteries when they started the show. Drives me nuts. I'm just swearing off TV for a few weeks. I'm just going to play WoW and make videos. We need an It's Fine emote. Oh, I had an emote thought, actually. I don't know if I should do this because there might be some there might be some not predicted consequences or use cases for it. But if I was going to just like casually poll chat, it would be nice to have a yes and a no emote, like an affirmative and a negative. I would just hate for the negative emote to be used to like boo things that I'm not intending people to be booing. I'm not trying to make like bullying emotes. But if I was to say like opinions on tablecloths, do you think that they protect a table or do you think they're too much laundry? And then people could kind of like thumbs up, thumbs down. Would be kind of nice. Hazel think needs to be a thing? How do you feel about Santa Clarita Diet? I'm mad. I haven't seen that one. Is that boss in a perpetual state of dying? He's in a perpetual state of feeling pretty bad about himself because this character doesn't die until, what, Mop? So yeah, he's just having a bad day for here. Unfriending all Lost haters. Tablecloths defo too much laundry. The only reason I'm considering it is because our table surface is so sad. It's got so many dings in it. It's a cheap table. Like, I imagine if I had a nice table, then the surface would look better. But then if I had a nice table, then I would probably want to protect it with a tablecloth. I don't know. I switched to cloth napkins, so I'm already washing those. Nay or a yeah? Something like that, yeah. I would want to do, like, some cute versions. Maybe there would be, like, a cat holding up the yes and the dog holding up the no, because that's his life. He says no to stuff. What's the fishy doing? Why are you sitting? He likes to scour the ground to see if he, like, forgot any snacks down there. A lot of Bettas won't eat off the ground, and he is not one of them. He will eat anything that he can find. Okay. I hope that that stabilizer arrives today in a fair amount of time so that I can get it tested out. You know who's on? Actually, let me see here. Let me see. Okay. It looks like pal Supa is doing a music stream, which is really cool. So I'm going to raid that because I'm done for today. Thank you guys very much for coming to the stream. I'm going to be back tomorrow, but I will be back tomorrow afternoon. We switched to the afternoon streams. They start at 3 p.m. Pacific time. So now plus 2.5 hours and you'll get the afternoon time. Thanks guys. And I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye.
Hazel, thank you for the host. It's a pretty big host. I hope that you had